What's going on, guys? Apparently, we just Tony talk about randomness. Okay, guys, we'll get him back here in a second. I apologize. In the meantime, well, here he is. Here he is.
When things don't go right to start the show. World of randomness.
We're
right there.
him from the start. It's okay, man. It's okay.
Wow. Yeah, you said, "Are you ready to go?" And all of a sudden, my screen just went bloop. Didn't get much
wait,
more
where you
random
go?
than that,
All of
folks.
a sudden, I was like, I'm full screen, and then I'm like, whoa, talk about randomness, guys. What's up? We're live. Anyways, let's try that again. What's going on, guys? Live Phantasmic Chronicles over
Yes, we
there,
are.
and me, Danny from Two Real Geeks.
Yep, I'm actually going to try and stick around.
I like my new set. My new
Love
set.
it.
Yeah. Hold on,
Little
let's
Star
get
Wars
more
action, I
experience here.
see.
Isn't it beautiful? Is that so beautiful, right?
Yes, it is.
So beautiful.
That's a great poster, period.
So I got that.
Hi, everyone.
Hi. I got that when I was working at GameStop. It was what a wall display. That shows you how long ago I was working at GameStop.
So it's been a while ago.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Okay, Jess came in and gave me, Jess, where did you get this?
I found it walking the dog.
You want to talk about random?
Yeah.
Thanks, Jess. This here. Guys, randomly, Jess comes
Jonathan,
in.
what's going on, buddy? Welcome in.
You want to see what she hands me?
I'd love to see it. Hey, it's even in the package.
Yeah.
I wouldn't take it in if it wasn't.
I don't understand. She said she found it outside when she was walking the dog.
What's up, Expedition Greg? How are you tonight?
What is up, buddy? I don't even fish.
I was going to say your channel is not called Two Real Fishing.
No, I don't fish.
You do now.
Just like I do. So I'm just going to attach a.
Welcome in, go with Kel. Welcome in, Rachel. It's good to see you guys.
What's up, Kel? How are you? I can't. You want to talk about random, Tony? That right there was random. And a fishing.
It doesn't get much better than that. I mean,
I don't even know how much that's worth or anything.
No, but someone is sitting at home right now going like, I know that they put that in the bag at Walmart today. Where is my fishing reel, hon?
Exactly. I can't.
Hey, you can take it with you when you go to New York and you can fish in the Hudson River.
What was that?
You can take it when you go to New York and go fishing in the Hudson River. You're bound to catch something good there.
You. I don't need Simpsons fish coming out.
No three-eyed fish, three legs growing out where fish have gills.
Yeah, exactly. Has a human hand coming out of it somewhere. And no, thank you. No, thank you at all. Just said that's why I have no immune system. Because I haven't been swimming in the Hudson River.
I was going to say, swim in there for a while. You'll either build it real quick or you'll die real quick.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know about. I hear you could walk across the river to go to Jersey.
Yeah. But I lived in Jersey. There's not a lot of places up there where I'd want to go.
Yeah, no. Most of these streams up in Jersey are like green. It's green.
Yeah. And folks, he's not
lying. Sun goes down, the city glows.
Especially up around Edison.
Oh, yes. right off of 95 there. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The old Texaco plant and everything. Yeah.
Go across the old Raritan Bridge, jump off the Parkway.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Although Edison is safer than some places are up in that area. Not much,
Oh,
but
man.
a little bit.
So I was working for Hoveround, the wheelchair company, right? Their main headquarters is out in Florida. What a convenience that your main electric wheelchair company headquarters is in Sarasota, Florida.
Well, why wouldn't it be?
Recap exactly. They're making great business. But when I used to go around repairing them and things like that. So I do training in Camden, New Jersey.
Oh,
I was down in Camden for a week.
Did they keep you in Cherry Hill, or did you have to stay in Camden,
where I was right there by the bridge to Philly and all that.
The only town more dangerous than Gary, Indiana. 7 years straight, it was the murder capital per capita of the world.
There was a bar, pawn shop, strip club, bar, pawn shop, parking lot. Like every block had it. The beginning of it and the end.
Amy from AJC Magic, it's good to see you. Welcome in. Hey, my wife made it in too. She must have dosed up all her patients for the night.
Hey, AJC, Rachel, what's going on? Kel, but New York water is better than Florida. It is, Kel. The only thing not better than water is just the Hudson River. There's just no denying it.
Here, I just read Rachel's comment about she took her daughter fishing and she caught a turtle instead of a fish. Here's a great random thing to jump off of here.
Awesome.
Where I live, there are snapping turtles all over the place. Now, my son, mind you, my 12-year-old Brandon that you heard today when we were talking, he walks outside and there's one just waddling along by a drainage bed for culverts. And he sees it and he decides that he's going to try and grab it. Well, this thing grabs a hold of him. It's got his entire finger. And all I hear is my two other boys come running in the house. I mean, they're freaking out. They're like, Brandon is being held by a turtle. And I'm like, what do you mean he's being held by a turtle? I'm sitting on the couch and I'm like, what are you talking about?
He's being held.
It's a snapping turtle. You know, my son Caden, he knows a little bit about everything when it comes to animals. And he's like, it's a snapping turtle. Yeah. He goes, I think it's an alligator snapping turtle. And I'm like, they don't live up here. He's like, but it's got him. He's outside screaming. So I walk out there. I've got a couple screwdrivers and I got a pair of pliers. I'm like, if I can't get it open with a screwdriver, I'm gonna snip his beak off. I mean, that thing's not gonna let go unless you force it until it closes all the way up. So I started with a screwdriver and it bit down harder. Now he's lets out this banshee like scream, and I just grabbed the pliers and as soon as I grabbed a hold of that turtle, boy, he let go right now. I don't know if it was from the cold or the pliers, but he gets down and he stands up and he looks at it and he goes, oh, it's not that bad. And I go, so what are you out here screaming for? He goes, because it bit down really hard. He goes, I thought my finger was gone. I said, I thought your finger was gone too.
But here's the thing. If I say there's a turtle outside my house this time of year, I'm in Georgia. You're in, and there's a turtle outside walking around instead of being hibernating.
Oh, no. This was a couple of years ago in the summertime.
Oh, okay.
This was a couple of years ago in the summertime.
Okay.
My wife was like, oh my God, it's hilarious now. But in that moment, I'm thinking, this thing is eventually going to try to get through his finger. And boy, I tell you what, as soon as I put those vice grips right on there and it went ping and his mouth goes.
Yeah, that's
as soon as the pressure is up, Yeah. Well, My son has a habit of doing a lot of things he shouldn't do. You know.
Oh, well, didn't we all at that age? I mean, really, come on.
Well, and then you add his issues on top of it. He's just like, la di da. This turtle's opening its mouth. Let's see how hard it bites. Because he even said, he goes, it was opening its mouth and my finger got too close. I'm like, your finger should never be close to a snapping turtle's mouth.
Now, how close can I get?
Oh, he had it sideways. I mean, it was like this. He had to hold him like this.
Yeah.
And, you know,
nuts.
I mean,
my
boys are like the king. My boys are the kings of, let me see what I can bust open today. Yeah. Yeah. If there's a snapping turtle around in the winter, he will find it. He'll take it out from being in hibernation, bring it in and warm it up. Rachel, his finger was okay. Once the pressure was released, it didn't bother him anymore. He was scared more than anything because he was he may have been 10 years old at the time.
Yeah.
You know, 9 going on 10. So, yeah, you get that.
You can grow that
9, 10-year-old.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Bax, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, what's going on, Bax? But, yeah,
you know what's
not to
funny
get too
too
random here.
Just in time for today's show, I came. It was whole like it was like sent. I don't even know where I got it from. I forget it really. But it was a whole list of like random conversation starters. Some of these were definitely
Danny,
interesting. Yeah.
Do you see what my wife just put? You have to pop that up there, and I got to tell this one. This is just as good. This is wintertime. This is about mid-January. Him and my son Caden find a bird outside, just a baby bird, and it's old enough to fly, but obviously it can't for whatever reason. This thing in this amount of time should have been long enough to be flying. Well, they sneak this thing into the house. All of a sudden, I see 3 boys run through the front door, out through the dining room, and out into the kitchen. And I'm like, that's odd. So a little while later, all of a sudden, I'm like, they didn't come back out of the kitchen. Then all of a sudden, I hear footsteps running upstairs. Boy, as soon as it happened, I'm like, okay, something's up. So I don't know what they got. I don't think it's anything alive and breathing. Mind you, I think this is some sort of inanimate object that they're trying to keep that they don't want me to know about. So I go upstairs and I don't even say anything. I just hold out my hand and he goes, oh man, I go, give it to me. And he walks up and he hands me a bird soaking wet. They took it into the bathroom and Brandon got into the shower and gave this bird a shower. Because they wanted to take care of it. It didn't have a mama.
Okay.
So I'm like, I can't keep this bird in my house. Who knows what's all over this bird? Birds carry lice.
Thank you for popping in. We appreciate it.
Yes, we do. Thank you very much. And I'm like, we can't keep it in the house. I said, I'll put it in a box. I said, and if it's still alive tomorrow, we'll get it out of the box, see if it can fly. Well, needless to say, I woke up in the morning and it was down to like 15 degrees and the bird, froze to death. So I didn't have to worry about it. I mean, yeah. But, what am I supposed to do? Keep a bird that might have lice or whatever on it sitting in the house? I'm like, nope, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to have that stuff running around my house.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I got to worry about lice, I don't want to have to pick it out of my locks.
I mean, some of us have an issue.
Well, I had hair till my wife came along. Then it just all started falling out. No, nice. I started going bald at 18, so I can't say much.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we were. You know what? I was definitely not the one to bring animals home like that. So I'm like, oh, yeah, you can stay there.
You not bring animals home. you run a zoo in your house.
What's different now?
One more animal and you have to get licensed. I think Jack Hanna comes over to check on all the animals. You know, for years, Jack Hanna was part of was as big as he is. He was the zoologist for the Columbus Zoo for years. So we had him up here for years. Now they got him down in SeaWorld, Orlando, which I think is great because he's a great guy. I met him when I was a kid.
He's in the Busch Gardens.
Well, Busch Gardens owns SeaWorld. So, well, they're
SeaWorld.
Busch Gardens owned it. Now it's
I know Virginia has a whole exhibit there dedicated to him and the animals. So
yeah, he has done a lot. You know, he's spent a lot. I mean,
he's a great
practically
man.
Born and raised with the Columbus Zoo.
Yeah.
So how much longer you got before Six Flags opens back up? Yeah, they were helping out the bird. And
how much longer do I have for Six Flags? I have long. I'll tell you that. It's too long.
Do they open before Cedar Point? I'm sure they do, being in the climate you're in.
I'm looking it up right now. It's March something. Six Flags over Georgia. It's like first weekend in March or something like that.
Yeah, see, they don't have a very long off season at all.
No. Like you said, though, we don't have that much of a winter.
No, you don't.
March 7th, and I appreciate it. Thank you for that help. Yeah, 7th and 8th is the opening weekend for Six Flags over Georgia. So I have about a month.
Yeah, I've got a little while yet. Just trying to remember. Yeah, I got until May 9th, so.
Yeah. I feel bad for you.
Dude, even in May, I remember one year going up to Cedar Point like mid-May.
Yeah.
Like when I was 15 or 16. I'll tell you what, I mean, you are literally, I mean, the lakefront is right there. I mean, you walk out the back gate.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're on the lake. And let me tell you, those roller coasters get cold.
Yeah.
You got something like Millennium Force running 93 miles an hour, and you got a headwind coming in. Yeah. It's cold.
Exactly. Like, honestly, though, it's like that closing day. I was on some of these rides, and it was just cold. Like, I'm on the Superman ride, and just cold. Like, the wind's just blowing in my face, and I come off, and I'm just like, because of the wind and the coldness, and it was just like, okay, that was fun. But
yeah, the last couple times I went.
At least we get 2 new rides this year over here. So
yeah, you got what? You've got like a scrambler type ride coming in, right? That's going to be in Gotham Park, right?
Yeah, it is a scrambler.
But they're just fixing, or they're souping it up to look like something. It's going to be Catwoman, isn't it?
No, it's Poison Ivy's scrambler. Poison Ivy's whatever, off the top of my head. But it's a scrambler. That's all it is. They're probably souping it up with lights and stuff like that. It probably has a good light.
Yeah.
But I'm not complaining because I like those rides.
You know, some of those rides.
Back to what you started with.
Yeah. One of the fun things is you know, when you're really into a theme park, and even if you're not so much into those rides, as long as you can ride them, getting the chance to see the packages they put into it, like the sound effects, the music, the lights, especially when you get to go on it at night, you know, that's like, there's a roller coaster here in Ohio at Kings Island called The Beast. And I mean, it opened in 79. So, I mean, I think the lift hill is 149 feet. It's got like 160-foot drop though, because it goes down below the level of the lift hill. But I mean, it's got 2 lift hills, and I mean, it's still, I think it's still the longest roller coaster in the U.S. It's over 7,000 feet. But the big thing about that is it's got almost no lights on it. Both the lift hills are lit.
Oh yeah,
you know,
and it's through the woods.
Everything is and it's through the woods. And let me tell you, a night ride on that is beyond compare. I remember the last time I rode it, and it is still. It's been about 10 years since I rode it, and 10 years is still.
Mm-hmm. Did you ride his? Did you ride his partner?
Son of Beast. I rode it when the loop was still in it.
Oh,
and have you ever watched Defunctland Story on Son of Beast? And
Stories on Son of Beast, and I was like, wow.
Yeah, going back and thinking of it, I rode it when I was younger with the loop in it, which I said I'd never ride it again because it didn't feel good. You know, it didn't feel like a solid loop. It felt like it went too slow for what they were trying to accomplish with it. And you almost felt like you lost some speed. And after they took it out, it still was, I mean, it just beat you to death. I mean, it wasn't a bad, it wasn't like a kidney puncher, you know, like the Steel Vengeance now, which used to be the Mean Streak. I rode it. The last time I rode it was the year it closed. And I mean, before I left the park that day, I was beginning to feel sore.
Right.
I mean, if I went up there and it was still running today, I would still ride it because it was a great roller coaster. It was a lot of fun, had a lot of airtime, especially for a Woody. And it was fast. Be honest with you, I think they wound up, before it started getting super rough, they actually had to add some trim in there because it was gaining a lot of speed. And, you know,
I'm sure,
you know, when you start going and you're shaking around, you ride roller coasters enough, you get a feel for when it's going faster than what it feels like it should be. You're like, man, that curve was rough. It wasn't a rough ride, but that curve was rough to take.
You know,
and you think
that brings up a good point though, because every time I go on Batman, it's always a different ride. Okay. You've been to Great Adventures. You know the Batman ride I'm talking about. It, you know, the hanging and the, you know, the hanging seats and all that. So we go on this ride and it's like, okay, this was slow today. Then all of a sudden you go on it like the following weekend and it's like, it's flying. You're like, what happened? And then they're like, well, we don't adjust the speed of it. I swear somebody adjusts the speed on how fast these things actually are going.
Now, if I remember right, it's almost like a wing coaster, right? Only the seats swivel, do they not?
It's just an inverted. It's an
okay.
classic.
I know which one you're talking about now. Then it's got the double helix in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the barrel rolls.
Yeah. Sometimes when I think back to these coasters and I go and research them to remember what they were like, I realized that what I thought I rode at Great Adventure was actually what I rode at Six Flags Ohio when it was open. You know, like there was a ride at Six Flags Ohio. I can't remember what these types of rides are, but it's got a carnival feel to it, and they're wide. They seat a lot of people, you know, and it spins, and it's got the two arms that swing it back and forth. They had a ride called Tomb Raider, and they were trying to go after some of that Disney feel, Universal feel. And
I know what you're talking about.
This thing was seated 212 people at a time, if I remember right. And I mean, this thing would take you up and it would hang you upside down. I mean, it was a fun ride. It's a ride I would definitely go on again. But they said,
just in case you guys don't know, this ride came out when the first Tomb Raider movie came out.
Yes,
that's what they were going after.
Yeah, and if you ever want to see what it was about, Defunctland does a great video on that one too. And something I didn't know, they were talking to ride personnel, when they powered that thing down at night, the squeals from all the, I mean, the electric they pulled for that, they said they were pulling more power for that than any other 3 rides they had.
Oh yeah. What'd she say?
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
Hey, I can say that you guys were probably in diapers when I rode my first roller coaster that broke the 200-foot barrier. Magnum's been around for a long time. And you know what's neat about that ride is they position that ride perfect. And I think it was built this way on purpose because it overlooks the lake. And they even say it when you're getting on the ride on a clear day, which you don't have a lot of clear days on a humid day in Ohio. But when you live in New York. If you climb, when you get to the top of that hill at 200 feet on a clear day, you can actually see the Canadian shore, which is really neat because I've only been able to do it twice, and I've rode it probably 50 times in my lifetime.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's really neat because, I mean, you could see out and you could see the islands, and then you could see the Canadian shore. You don't see it long.
That's cool.
But yeah, it is really neat. And that still to this day is probably one of the best airtime coasters that anyone's ever put out. Because that's really all it is airtime hills.
Yeah.
Because I mean at the time, at the time, they were just trying to break the 200-foot barrier. Putting in all the stuff, things like Cheetah Run has, or even what this Orion's going to have, or even what Millennium Force was able to build. They would have never been able to physically do it and probably make it safe at that time.
But I'm curious to see if they're going to if anybody is going to try to break the tallest record as because
the tallest right now is King Cod, what 436 feet? Which it's only about 8.
Now,
see, Top Thrill I think is 418. And it says it's the highest because I think that Top Thrill reaches 420.
King Ka is 418. Top Thrill is 4. Red Force is 345. Superman Escape from Krypton is 328. 325 is 320. Steel Dragon 2000 is 307.
See, I'm getting a different number than you are.
306.
See, I'm getting 420. I'm getting 420 from Cedar Point, and then King Ka, I'm getting from, it says 456. Yeah, Millennium Force, I'll tell you, when Millennium Force come out and they broke that 300-foot barrier, I'll tell you, and, they innovated the way they did lift hills, too, as a high-speed lift hill.
Either way, I have been on King Ka. It doesn't take much for a ride to not scare me. You know what I mean? King Ka is so tall. You get up to the top of that ride and you're like, oh my gosh, what did I do? Because
you're the same way on Top Thrill.
There's times that this ride won't even make it up to the top of the hill. You got to remember, it's going straight up. Too. Right. It'll have a rollback, and then they have to reset and relaunch. But you're looking at the sky. That's not the worst part. That's not bad because you don't realize, how high you are when you're looking, on your back and up. You're like, oh, okay. Make that arc, and you see that you're like 10 trees. Up there. You could stack at least 10 trees up to get to where you are. High. You are high.
I've, and one of the things that I've always hoped for, and I've only gotten the chance to ride Top Thrill a few times because up until probably the last 10 years, Top Thrill was a 2-hour wait every day. And I mean, being that, a lot of the mystique is gone and that record's been broken, you don't get people traveling from all over to hit the 400-foot mark.
Yeah.
So, I mean, on a good day, you can be on and off that in 35 minutes. But, I've watched videos of, these people not quite making the top. I've seen a double rollback on Top Thrill, which I would be thrilled to death if I got a rollback on it. That would be one of the greatest rides of my life. And you hear these people be like, my son's like, he's seen it on YouTube. He's like, I don't know if I can ride that. And I go, buddy, I'm telling you what, it'll be the greatest thing you ever do.
Bad. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now it's funny because when me and my sister were young, she was the daredevil and wanted to ride all the upside down rides and everything else. Mom and Dad took us to Disney in '85. They took us on Space Mountain, which we know now as adults goes 28 miles an hour. I was scared to death of roller coasters at the age of 9, and she was 6 and wanted to ride everything that went fast. I'll never forget my mom telling me the story. She says, yeah, Space Mountain came to a stop and you were ready to go back on, and she wasn't. And then that dawn, once I got over that fear, it was like take me on everything, and then.
Well, that was
it's funny.
You ever been to Hershey Park?
No, I haven't been there yet.
Okay.
I mean, it's probably about 5 hours from me.
So Hershey Park, that roller coaster at Hershey Park, big roller coaster that I've ever been on. It was called the Comet. Okay. It was an old school wooden roller coaster. It's about ready to fall apart. Okay. And that was my first one. And after getting off that, I was like, okay, let's go. So the Comet will always have, that one place with me where I have to do it. And Jess looks at me like, let's ride. I'm like, because it's the Comet. That's why I need to go on it.
Cedar Point has a roller coaster, that is about the tamest roller coaster you ever meet. It's called the Cedar Creek Mine Ride. And by today's standards, it is a beginner coaster for kids.
They always have rides.
Well, I married her. I'll keep her. I'm not proud of it, but no, but she's the one. She's like, I'll stay on the ground, and I tell her all the time, like, I understand the anxiety part of it. I said, but when I was little, it's different being a kid with anxiety and not wanting to ride it because there's and being an adult. You can't help what you're scared of. But I told her, I says, the minute you let go, I said, it may not ever happen for you. I said, but the minute you let go and forget about the anxiety of that first hill and just getting through it, you're going to find that coasters are probably easier than the flat rides.
Well, I'm jealous about with you is you have somebody that will actually stand on the ground and hold your bags while you're on the ride. Me?
Yeah.
I have to, because anything I go on, Jess will go on too. So.
Now, see, at Cedar Point, and I don't know if they've changed it over the last few years, but they've got ride bins. Like when you get on Magnum, anything that you don't want to carry, you can put in your bag. And what you do is you step through the ride and to the other side, and they've got bins marked for your car. You lift it up, you close it, and you go, and then you come back and you grab your stuff and go.
You're going to get me started on this one now, huh? Because Six Flags, I guess Great Adventures is doing it now too. Over here at Georgia, Universal is another one doing this now too. Is when you're in these parks, they have the bins there still.
Yeah.
To use them. I get it because you know what was
What's up,
happening
PTV?
hey, PTV, what's going on? What was happening was stealing things. Okay, I get it. But if you're going to a theme park that you're stealing, you're a special type of person to begin with, I guess. And realistically, a lot of people don't do this. Now, what they have now, if I don't know if they have them there, is bin systems too, where they slide something across. When that train leaves, the door slides over. So your stuff is covered, and basically the train coming in, stuff is exposed. So now there's nobody's stuff exposed to me when I'm putting my stuff in. So it kind of
That's how these ones work.
It worked. It worked. But
they want you to pay that locker fee.
It's a cash cow, and that's all. Oh, how many people aren't spending enough money in the parks? Well, we're just going to make them pay for lockers. But then
they'd spend more if they didn't put Johnny Rockets in there. No one wants to use Johnny Rockets.
Exactly. No, we did just because, and I was like, this is the worst food. This is supposed to be a hamburger place. Johnny Rockets in the mall, then at Six Flags. Sorry. But there's some rides that they won't let you bring your bag onto, and put other rides like Batman or something like that. Oh yeah, here, just put your bag in the bin. Well, why isn't it straight across the board? I mean, you're saying that I can bring my bag up, but why can't I bring my bag up on, Goliath? You're making me all the major rides. You're making my stuff in a locker. Yeah.
Well, then you got things like, and the Steel Vengeance was the originator of this, and there have been several parks since that have taken notice. You cannot get into line. You can't get in line with your drink. You can't get in line with food. It doesn't matter if this is a 4-hour wait, and you have to rent a locker. You cannot. You can't put anything in a zip-up pocket. Everything comes out, goes in there. You got to put your glasses in there, your cell phone, keys. If you've got money in your pocket, it comes out. And it is a very intense ride, and I can understand why to a point. But like we have talked about a few times, what's wrong with people, especially people that are trying to influence your park, wearing chest mounts and stuff like that? Now, head mounts, wrist mounts, I can understand that.
I'm sorry. I get mad when there's people out there that want to film on a ride and they do it the wrong way. Like, I've seen people going to different to Disney and things like that. I don't care how timid the ride is. Right? Like, let's just say, Haunted Mansion, Splash Mountain, or whatever else you're doing, or granted, Disney has tame rides. I not so much. You can kind of use whatever you're going to use to film on that. But something like then you got like Peter Pan Flight of Passage, where you're suspended in a building.
Yep.
Not for nothing, I spend decent money on my camera equipment. Okay. So realistically, I'm going to make this taken care of. Right? So even in Haunted Mansion, I'm going to show you, because I just happen to have my little case right here. So the best thing ever, this. It's a wrist strap with a tripod attachment on it up top here that I can just put my camera on, and now I don't have to worry about losing my camera. Well, and guess what? I'm a tripod at the same time now, so I'm good. This is what I was using. In Disney, I was using this. Of all places, I probably wouldn't need to use it, but but going on now, polls and everything else like that, that's not safe. That's not safe. I'm sorry. If I'm coming into Six Flags with a GoPro, and it Velcros, and it has a second safety strap that straps around this to keep it closed. Well, I should be able to go somewhere. Hey, look, I'm a YouTuber. Here's my credentials. You know, like someone like me who's in media or Six Flags.
Yeah.
I should be able to, I'm media. I'm on the media team. I want to check my equipment in with you just to make sure it's safe to use, that you guys say it's safe to use. Say, you know, look at it. Yeah, that's safe enough to use on a roller coaster. Thank you. You know, I'm not even asking for because when they give you your media a day, like you get 3 passes per year type of thing. I don't even use them, but they give you a ride exit with it. And you get some perks like free food and a ride exit. I don't need that. I'm at that park often enough where I don't need the ride exit.
Yeah,
it's a special event where like I'm good. Jonathan said the Chiefs won. Okay. Yay. But
I mean, for how I felt about
like,
football this year, I mean, that makes me happy, but you know, my Browns aren't doing anything. So, and Danny, he's like, the Chiefs. Chief who?
Who's the Chiefs? Chief who? Chief who won? Yeah, but you know what I mean? It was going and be like, and it should, here, like this, my chest strap, right? They should be like, oh, okay, nothing's broken on it. You know, it's all secured. It buckles well. You know, like, you know, like, oh, okay, cool, it's good. Here, put a marker, put a strap, and say, you know, like they do at Comic Cons with the prop weapons. Yeah, it's safe. You know.
Yeah.
Hey, Ray J, what's going on? You know, but that's how I feel about that, and I don't know. But I play by the rules.
Well, you know, I keep watching. You know, most of the people that watch us are also big in the Disney community, so they get to see a lot of Disney stuff, Universal stuff, and SeaWorld. Those 3 are the 3 biggest. Well, SeaWorld not as big as Six Flags, but because they're in Orlando and what they offer, I would say the 3 biggest parks in the U.S., busiest parks in the U.S. And they do not have a problem with you streaming on the rides or filming on the rides.
Right.
That should be an example.
Let's back up. Universal does now. You cannot.
Yes, they do have some rides that they don't.
Cannot go on a ride at Universal without going through a metal detector.
Really? See,
oh yeah.
Yep. I know that now there's some rides. You know what? I wouldn't want to take my camera equipment on the Hulk. I've never rode it. I've watched plenty of POV on it. I would not want to take
but here's the thing though is I would take I would take a this way or this way safely. Hey Ben, what's going on?
Hey Ben, welcome in.
You know what I'm saying? I know 100% my equipment will be safe on my wrist or on my chest.
Now, to go one further with you, I could see where, and yes, it Velcros, and yes, it does secure. I could see where they might say, you know what, there is still a chance, you know, you could get thrown a little bit, you could rip on that Velcro, come off. Okay, I understand that. And we'll put my chest mount on.
Well, like I said, 1 Velcro, right? And that's the second Velcro. So this Velcro will wrap around. Yeah, it's a double safety thing. Yeah, this turns, but it's riveted onto the strap. So really no way for it to come off.
Yeah. And you know, like you said, when especially given like your circumstance with Six Flags last year, you got media. That means they trust you to represent their brand. What do you think would be the most or the best way for you to represent what they're doing by being able to take your stuff in, even if it's every trip? You wouldn't mind spending 20 minutes in a thing with someone going over your equipment to make sure it was safe to use on the ride, would you?
Not at all. Not at all.
And see, there's the thing. You got, and you know as well as I do, people sneak cameras onto rides all the time. I mean, we won't say who does it. I mean, but we know some people have done it. And, but you know, I've seen POV. We have seen I've watched POV from Cedar Point. They have never allowed filming equipment on their rides. Never. And here's my thing. If I grow enough, you know, if I grow big enough to catch media, I want to be able to walk up and say, you trust me to represent the Cedar Fair brand in Cedar Point. You want me to present you well? Here's my equipment. Tell me what's safe and what's not, and I will follow every rule you got, but there's no reason I shouldn't be able to strap a GoPro to my chest. You know, because I want to represent you in the best light possible.
There's a way around this. Most people that are out here whining that they can't get a POV footage of a ride is not thinking the right way. Okay? Yeah. Listen, this may help you. The parks, every theme park has access to videos that you can in media.
Yep.
Okay? Every theme park has made a POV video of these major because they know that is what brings people to the park. Now, especially with me, being with media from Six Flags, you know, things like that, I can go to Six Flags. Hey, can I get the POV for Twisted Cyclone? Here you go. Now I can use that POV on my own. It helps them. It helps me.
But we've talked about this before. What's the worst video of a ride that you can watch? The ones that the parks make, because you're only seeing one angle. It's dead on. It's an empty ride. Almost, I mean, you can find a few of them. When you have
they're always
reactions of
front row, always in the front row. That's I get it. When I do my POVs, I like to get it in a practical seat where somebody sit, because you're not, you know, you got maybe 4 people that are going to sit in the front row, and everybody else is going to see everything else behind it, you know. And I get it. I get that. One of those front row junkies where you have to sit in the front row every ride, and I'm not that person. I'm going to, that line's shortest, I'm going there to get this going a lot quicker and get off this first one, you know?
And so here's my thing. If I'm going to wait in line to get on a coaster, I'm going to wait for the back of the ride, not for the front of the ride. You know, because you're going to get the weakest ride from the front. So when they're showing you that point of view footage, you're not seeing the whip around effects. You're not, and when you don't have people around you filming, reacting to the ride, you have no real basis to base the thrill factor. If you've got people on a ride that is supposed to be so great, what better way to present it than by someone that you have trusted, like Six Flags over Georgia, trust 2 Real Geeks, to give them a media pass. Hey, we are going to check their equipment. I want them to put their stuff up with our blessing, with crowd reactions, because there's nothing worse than going to a park, getting on that coaster you've waited to ride, and it's a real dud. You know, I've been on a few of them. Kings Island is the worst for them. when they were Paramount, they would pump these rides out. Like it's been renamed the Bat now, but they have one called the Top Gun, and it's basically it's a hanging coaster, and it was supposed to be so great. And I rode it, and I'll tell you, I almost cried. It was horrible. It was horrible.
I was expecting a lot more with the name of Top Gun for a ride. I was expecting that.
Yeah, and not only that, it's an Intamin hangar. They still have the Iron Dragon at Cedar Point, which is that, and what's been renamed the Bat is one of the few remaining Intamin hanging coasters, because they tried to build them with as few trim brakes as possible, and they pretty much shook themselves apart.
Yeah.
And they tried to do all these, they tried to do all these crazy steep drops mid-ride to try to build that. And, they come around and, no trim brakes. These things are just flying out of control. And I mean, they go to inspect them, and here they've got weld brakes, they've got nuts and bolts broken, and people were complaining getting off the ride that it's shaking, and they can't figure out why. Then they go out and be like, oh, that's supposed to have 18 bolts in it. It's only got 12 because 6 of them have snapped off from the force of the turn they tried to take. And Intamin's not a horrible coaster maker. Intamin's responsible for breaking the 200-foot barrier with Magnum. They're responsible for many of the record breakers at Cedar Point, until they started kind of getting in bed a little bit with B&M a little more.
As much as I am into roller coasters and theme parks and stuff like that, you would figure be more like, I have this set brand of roller coasters that I would like, that I follow all through and through and all that. But realistically, I don't. If it's just got to be a good ride. I don't care who makes it. I don't care about its specs. It looks cool. It sounded. I like it. And that's all that matters. Like that's one.
Although
honestly,
RMC
the look of it matters to me. Like how that coaster looks matters to me. Like it's gonna hype me up even more and be like, that's an awesome color. That's an awesome location for it. I like it. We have this one right here in Georgia that I actually more excited for because it's one of the only stand-up roller coasters left in the country.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't like it because of its location.
Yeah,
sorry.
If I'm like you said, and like I said earlier, a lighting package, sounds, just the color scheme of a roller coaster, can mean a lot. Because if you've got this, I'm sorry, you throw a bright pink roller coaster out there, I don't care if it's a 500-foot drop, it's not going to excite people the way a bright blue and red roller coaster will, or the color scheme
a bright
goes a
pink
long
roller
way.
coaster could, if you have the right, be like the flying salmon or something. Well, that all right, cool. I can kind of see why it's pink. Like it has. Like I'm not turning down. Like it could be. You could be in a theme park for Barbie. I don't know. Like like Barbie's.
No, but
we don't have a theme park.
I'm not even saying because.
But
I'm not saying because it's pink. I'm just throwing out a random color. If you if you throw out something and you're calling it the Superman and it's all black, or you're doing a Batman ride and it's blue and red, it's not going to feel right. And I'm using Batman, that as a reference.
In red, it could, because the Batman ride is blue and red in locations. But
if you look at blue and red, what's the superhero you think of when you think DC? You think Superman.
Superman.
The blue. That's Superman. Yeah. So if I'm looking at that, I'm not going to get the aesthetic feel that they're looking for.
Right.
You wouldn't name that ride that you're getting Poison Ivy and then paint it bright red. It's going to be purple.
Yeah, no.
It's going to be purple and green.
It needs to be green. Yeah. Or yellow and green or something.
Yeah. So if and it goes a long ways because how is Six Flags as far as like nighttime packages? Are they really good at it, or are they basic county fair like?
Not even. Here's the Jersey, awesome. Okay. Here in Georgia, not so much. But here's the thing. Look at where Georgia is compared to Jersey. Look at the time sunset is in Jersey compared to Georgia. Sunset is later than Jersey's. So Jersey's going to have more time where they have to have the lights on. So if they have to have the lights on, it'll look good. Georgia, our lights don't stay on. Like our park will close early at 10, right? So by the time it gets dark during the summer season, middle of July, boom, it gets dark at 9 o'clock. So you're gonna have a light package for 1 hour a day. I get it, but it's annoying. I get it though, you know.
So that's something I think, and you know, I'm basing it off of. I kind of remember Six Flags at night in Great Adventure was pretty amazing. You know, you felt like it was it. If I remember right, it kind of felt like old school carnival, but it was well lit. You know, they weren't afraid to make it flashy, but I remember it was bright.
Right.
It's like, to your point, one of the most iconic rides there is called the Corkscrew. It's the first roller coaster to have more than one loop in it. And it's got a standard loop, and then it's got, you know, literally 2 corkscrews to go back to back. And they actually go over top of the midway. So when you're walking through one of the midways, people are looking down at you on the ride, and you're looking up at them. So it's like an icon of the park. You know, they've got the chaser lights, and they're bright and they're vivid, and the package is not awesome. You know, it's pretty much standard white lighting on a blue track, but they light up the track as well with surrounding lighting so that it doesn't take away from the lighting on the ride. So where they lack a little bit on a lot of the older rides, the newer rides, when you ride them at night, it intensifies what you're doing. So, Jonathan, what park are you talking about? Are you talking about Canada's Wonderland? That's the park he said is local to him. And I didn't know they still had a stand-up either.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
See, we had a stand-up at Cedar Point for quite a few years. It was called the Mantis. And, I mean, it was well-themed. It wasn't a horrible ride. I mean, I find them uncomfortable because getting off of them can hurt. You know, because the seats raise up when you get off, and I'm not a tall guy. So for someone like you, it's probably not as bad because they probably don't shoot up quite as far. But I'll tell you what, I've hurt myself more than once getting off that ride. But the stories I heard about it was they wound up adding some trim braking because, you know, this as well as I do. As coasters age, it seems like they do tend to build speed. I think it's because the track's thin out a little bit. And the G-forces they were pulling on some of the turns with people standing up as opposed to sitting down. It was pulling it straight down their body instead of just part way. And people were passing out on the ride. Well, and then, you know, Cedar Point was in a rebirth of coasters. You know, we had several of them within a few years. We had the Valraven and the Rougarou came on the same year. And I mean, they built the one and they rebranded the other. The Valraven is a drop coaster, and the Rougarou is the rebuild of the Mantis, where they basically made it an Intamin coaster with open seating. You know, so your feet are still hanging. You know, so you get that feeling of like a hanging coaster without the body.
Right.
So, and that track was built for something like this. Because if you watch a video of Mantis and then you watch a video of Rougarou run, it's the same exact track. The only thing they did was replace some of the rails. They repainted it. They added a new cars to it. And if you watch a POV, even from the park of both those side by side, the aesthetic value of the colors they make it a much better ride. And I've never ridden it yet.
Yeah.
It opened after the last time I went. And I already can watch and see that that's going to be a much funner ride than the Mantis ever was.
Exactly.
You know.
The coloring scheme just makes it different.
Yeah, because Cedar Point is filled with trees. There's a lot of, you know, it's sandy. So a lot of their stuff is very neutral colored. Their bright colored stuff is fun
Yes.
too, but this is got some purples in it and stuff like that. So it's
Yeah.
dull purple. It's not like a bright, vivid purple. So
Mhm.
it flows well with the surroundings, especially where that's at. That ride is literally walking into Frontier Town. So you've got this massive coaster that's walking into the 1800s. So you can
Mhm.
see, they're not like Disney where you can walk into Frontierland. You don't even know that Adventureland exists. You can see other parts of the park from rides. So to be
Right.
able to build that and give it that right color scheme to feel like it should be what you're walking away from into Frontier Town, they nailed it.
Yeah.
And it never had
Yeah.
that with a bright blue and yellow roller coaster, which literally the track ran
That's
right
one thing.
beside the railroad tracks. That would be like, and this is, we talk about aesthetics and here changing parks real quick. Disney's building Tron right next to the railroad.
Top of
Where
it.
it sits,
On top of it.
if you look at where it's at, it's not in a bad place. Aesthetically, it works well where it's at until you. I thought about this the other day because I heard that they were moving the train to the backside of the railroad tracks. So they've got to work through all that to get it back there.
Mm.
And I thought they've got to work that
Yeah.
around Tron. Yeah. People are going to
They're
be
moving it to the
riding
other
the
station.
railroad.
That's right. I heard that too.
Yep. People are going to be riding the railroad, and if you ride it, they never really go past anything outside of just the railroad stuff. Now you're going to be going right past a futuristic looking ride. Probably one of the coolest looking rides I've ever seen. And you're going to lose some of that value that you get from riding the train when you go past Tron. Just going back to the whole aesthetic part.
Yeah. Here's the
I
problem.
look at that stuff when I ride things.
Disney needs a theme park. They need an amusement park. Okay, not a theme park. Like their new park should be an amusement park. Give us rides. I mean rides in there, not what we're Disney. But give us you can theme them like Tron or whatever, but look what they did in California with you got the Incredible Coaster out there right now.
Yep.
Give us an amusement park.
You know what? We're talking about theming and everything. If you go back and look at DCA before they made all the changes, if you go back and watch anything, have a good night, Rachel. Thank you for stopping in.
Good night, Rachel.
If you look at when it was California Screamin', and you look at that ride, and they didn't change the color scheme or anything. All they did was they did the right thing. They gave it that Disney theme. It looks like a much funner ride. Because when I see old video of California Screamin', to me, that did not make me want to, as much as I want to eventually go to Disneyland, didn't make me want to walk across the Esplanade and go to DCA. Now that it's the Incredicoaster, same ride, same speed, nothing different, just the scheme's different. I want to go ride that ride.
Right. I mean, everything. Honestly, I don't really consider that park an amusement park, a theme park. It's an amusement park, honestly. Look at what's in there.
I think that's what they were kind of going for.
Even the Cars ride, it's even more yes, it's themed, but it's a ride for the older crowd, for someone like me to get on there and get more excited about that than I would about Test Track.
Yes.
It's an awesome looking layout and just the bang turn and everything. All right. It's the same system as Test. It's not Test Track. It's awesome.
You don't have to go through the rainy scenes and break scenes. You just go out and you ride a car that goes fast. And that's Legoland. Look what Legoland does. Legoland's castle, the dragon ride. You start off at the station and you're going through the castle and everything. Just kind of like Splash Mountain, right? But then all of a sudden
You're in the roller coaster part. Yeah, granted, you're not going through loops and everything else like that. It's a kid part.
Yep.
But there's a story there and a thrill. You know?
Yeah. And, you know, you hit the nail on the head right there. Even if they do just build an amusement park, if they want to throw some things in there, make the story well. You know, put a little bit of thrill to it, make the story well.
You did it with Splash Mountain because you had random dips in there, you know, and you go into the laughing place. You know, you were into the laughing place, you're back in the story. Then all of a sudden you're going up the big hill, and then to the big drop, the thrill right there, and then you throw us back into the story. Yep. Zippity doo dah, have a good day, you know. And then the mine train, you had a whole story on the mine train as your awesome. Nikki, what's going on? How are you?
You know
what
Nikki,
I mean? Like,
thank
look,
you for stopping in.
You're going. You have to go up on the top of the rock there, bones, and you know the car was wiggle wobbling going up. You know, like there's a story there, but a thrill.
Well, you know, and we've talked about Seven Doors Mine Train before. They're about 20 seconds short. 20 seconds.
Yeah.
You give that 20 seconds. I mean, it's a great ride. It's probably I'm going to go out on a limb here, and my wife will agree with this wholeheartedly. It is the best ride in Disney World. Just from the fact that I will put, if you talk about telling a story
Disney World
and
or the Magic Kingdom. Disney World or
well, a little bit of both. I mean, the Magic Kingdom to me, I mean, if you're a Disney fan, I mean, it's going to be it's what you want. But 2 rides there at Magic Kingdom. Splash Mountain, because for one, you're getting 15 minutes of enjoyment. And then the story they throw in there, and the fact that they won't even put this thing out for people to watch on their own network that people are paying for, and people are begging for it. People have been writing them letters since it came out, begging for them to release the Song of the South. They hide from that movie, but yet they put the longest ride in the history of history dedicated to.
Well, here's the cool thing is, I'm actually not that far away. I'm about 20 minutes away from the mansion where the original book was actually written.
Okay. Have you been there?
And they actually do like down the actual live down here in the area where I'm at, and so I'm trying to look into. They're open up during the summertime. They're in winter hours now, which I really can't make, but I'm trying to look into these two. See if I could. That
would be a great video.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you.
Yeah. Splash Mountain was awesome. Like, just not putting that whole Song of the South aside. If you don't know anything about it, awesome ride. Think of it like you have a kid, bring a kid on that ride for the first time, and they're like, "Oh, look, all these animals everywhere, talking and singing and jumping around and everything." Granted, in that ride are old as dirt. There's better animatronics. Like when Bear Ravage bouncing around, and all of a sudden you see him go back down on the. Come on, man! Like, really, Disney, you got to do better than this. Let's upgrade this ride a little, please.
And they refurb that ride every 18 months. You telling me
it's
they
in
can't?
refurb right now?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it went into refurb about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but they're refurbing track right now, from what I saw.
Oh, they're refurbing track.
I saw.
Because you get so much ride for the time that you spend waiting for it, that's a ride that you can re-ride over and over because you're never going to see everything. And like this last time. Have you ever seen the hidden squirrel in that ride?
In that ride?
That comes out of the ceiling? There's a squirrel that comes out of the ceiling.
Yeah.
Do you know what he says?
Yeah.
He says FSU. because the guy that designed that particular animatronic was a graduate from the engineering school at Florida State. I'd seen a
Really?
thing on this not too long ago. Yeah, when he comes out and says something to you, he's saying FSU. I always thought, is he saying FU? I heard it last time I was riding with my kids, and I heard him come out, and I'm like, and I think one of the kids actually said, did he just say FU? I go, I don't think so. And I can't remember which one was it, but they swore to it.
Yeah.
But but you wouldn't, even when you're at the end, even that zippity doodah scene. I mean, it's just filler to get you to slow down your boat.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah,
I see something different every time I ride it.
A different animal that like, oh, that one's there. Yeah, exactly.
Building off what you were saying about Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and that 20 seconds that you could give that ride, why not do the cottage scene as another lift hill? Or I think you said, why not give me more of the mine? Or a second section? Because whether you love thrill rides or whether you like regular rides, I think everybody can agree that scene going through the diamond mine is one of the greatest things they've ever created.
Epic.
It's perfect speed. And, and this is based off of what Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was either going to make or break Walt Disney. He bankrupted himself to make it. He created a whole new type, a brand new way of making cartoons. He built a brand new building just for that piece of equipment and created it with the help of, the 9 old men. No, it wasn't the 9 old men then. That was later. But anyways, with the help of the people that worked for him at the time, they built something so that when they were walking towards the moon didn't grow too. To think that he thought that far ahead is like, you know what? Why is the moon growing? How can we fix that?
Yeah. Yep.
So to take that ride and not give it that extra 20 seconds or so, I think, and maybe they were just like, you know what? We want to get as many people through as possible. And they thought 20 more seconds is just going to...
I get it. But, if you added more coasters in Disney, your lines would be a lot shorter.
Yeah. Well, you had a fifth gate, you're automatically going to make things a little shorter. And, you touched on, what they're just going to keep expanding. They're going to get to the point where expansion is just not going to get it for them. Cedar Point is going to find that out this year. Cedar with all the season passes and the gold pass they introduced this year for $99. I mean, come on, $99 to any park is insanely cheap. Because if you go without any discounts,
so you can that's what you have, right? You have the $99 one, right? So you can go to their Carowinds, Knoxbury. You can go to all of them for $100.
No. The gold pass is Cedar Point only. The platinum pass was only $199, and it was all 11 parks, free parking at each park.
See, that's not bad though.
No, $200 to be able to visit 11 theme parks.
Even if you did 2 others.
Yeah. I mean, I'm within hours of. They've got one in Michigan. It's in Muskegon, Michigan. I think it's 5 hours from me. You got Kings Dominion in Virginia. That's only 7 hours. You got Kings Island, which is about 45 minutes more.
You might have to go down Carowinds.
Yeah. Carowinds, I think, is only like a 6.5 hour drive, if that. I mean, because really, once you get to Kings Dominion, I could be
I'm 4 hours.
Because when I used to go to North Carolina or Myrtle Beach, it took me about 7.5 hours. So it's probably 5.5, 6.5 hours. So it's another probably 2.5, 3 hours from the border to Myrtle Beach. So, I mean, if you had that pass, I mean, I'm within a half a day's drive from from most of them. Canada's Wonderland, I can be there in 7 hours. The one in Michigan, I can be there in 4. Cedar Point in 2. Kings Island in 3. Kings
So
Dominion in about
realistically,
5.5.
if you left on a Friday late afternoon, like 3 o'clock in the afternoon or so, use that day to travel.
Shelly, thank you. Michigan's Adventure. Sorry, Danny. I couldn't think of the name of it.
Okay. Yes. I was thinking, I was like, what is it called? But go to all these places, like leave late Friday afternoon, 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, drive to the hotel. You're there before midnight.
Yep.
Wake
I don't
up,
think
go
I'll
to
be
park
able
in
to
the
do it.
morning.
Yeah. Crash and go home. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you know, one of the dream things I want to do with Cedar Point, which I probably won't be able to do it this year, is there's so much history there to begin with, especially in that whole Sandusky area. But hey, welcome in, Noah.
He was at the game tonight.
But they've got a hotel there called Hotel Breakers that was built in like 1890, and it's still in operation today.
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably one of the most beautiful hotels you'll ever see. I mean, it really is. It's if you think of things in Disney terms, it's a deluxe resort. I mean, you could stay there for $200 a night. You know, stay in a deluxe resort for $200 a night. You know, that's, you know, and they've got everything there. They've got restaurants in there. They've got quick service style restaurants. They've got a spa facility in there. You know, and you can walk, if you walk out the back door to it, they've got their own access to the beach right there, and they've got their own entrance to the park. So if you're staying at Breakers, you walk to I think it's the south exit. You walk right up to the door, you scan your ticket, you walk out the door, you're in the park. It's the only way you can get out that door is if you got admission to the park.
Mm-hmm. And you can get back in that door?
Yes, you can get back in that door too.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
Shelly, one thing we've been talking about is I live here in Ohio, and that's my home park. And I will, you know, even though I was Disney based at first, I am moving on towards more of a basic theme park plus my life type of YouTube channel. So I'll be doing a lot of stuff from Cedar Point this year.
I can't wait to see that.
Which
I really can't wait for that.
we are heading
That's
back
gonna be a lot
down
of fun.
south in June too.
That's right, you are.
Yep.
That's
And
more.
in June yeah, but I mean, I've got every evening. I'll get to go to Universal one day, which would be neat because I've never been there. I get to board the Royal Caribbean Mystic of the Seas, which it's got to be a beautiful cruise ship. So I'll take lots of video there, and I get to get on the Disney Dream. I'm excited for it. Those are beautiful ships. Plus, we're trying to decide if no, and because we're part of a group package for this, because I don't think Disney has any right now. When I looked on their site the other day, you know, like certain times of the year, you see like tickets for like Epcot after 4 p.m. as part of the group, because I'll be doing stuff till about 4 every day. Me and Martine have talked about we can get an after 1 pass for, it's like $80. We can get an after 5 pass for $69 a person. So, if you go in and you spend, and they don't close till 11 o'clock, you got 6 hours at the park for about $120. No, because if you're down there and you love Disney, and you just take one day and just to go through the Magic Kingdom, to get something to eat and hit a few rides, and even if it's just to do that.
Even if you don't do the rides, just to get in there and walk around.
Yeah, I mean, just to walk down Main Street. Main Street to me is just as much fun as going on any ride anywhere, because there's so many people. Yeah, people watching is great.
In that park, it's a lot of fun. like I can tell you, Jess and I, we were sitting on the curb for the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Parade.
Mm-hmm.
So we were sitting, like we found prime real estate on, like, right on the curb. We knew they were going to kick people out of the street, so it was curb us, you know. And
Yeah.
we sat our butts down on that curb, and we did not move. If we you know, I wanted to go get a soda, but she stayed right there, you know, bag next to her, holding my spot, you know, things like that. But yeah, just sitting there watching these people was hilarious. Hilarious. Just what people do in Disney. It's so funny. They just lose it with every sense of common sense ever. They just,
Oh, I know.
like,
Yeah.
I can't.
Shelly, that is awesome. Her and her husband's first date was a Cedar Point trip.
Awesome.
You know, that is awesome. You know, especially for a kid who grew, or, you know, someone who as a kid grew up riding rides at Cedar Point. You know, I remember Cedar Point as young as 5. You know, so I've been going there my whole life. So there's a very special place in my heart, almost the way some people feel about Disney. You know, and like my wife has said, as I've been showing her some stuff about, you know, Cedar Point and how it's, is it a roller coaster park? Absolutely. If you want to ride some great roller coasters, you go to Cedar Point. But, you know, if you want to enjoy some family time, you can go to Cedar Point too. There's so much to do. And that's the problem when you have a park that knows that it kills it with the roller coasters. That's what they're going to sell. And they found out that this year they're going with that family-friendly atmosphere, and now people are starting to see it. You know, you know, because I follow a lot of Cedar Point stuff on Twitter, and I see people posting. I've never seen Cedar Point as a place to take my family for just a family day. You know,
exactly.
And it's going to be a lot cheaper than flying down to Florida and spending a week at Disney if you're within a day's drive of, because Milan Road is kind of the hotel strip, hotel and fast food place. You can stay on Milan Road in the summertime I've looked at taking the 6 of us up and spending a weekend. We can get a suite for about $80 a night. Sleeps up to 9 people. No, not at all. The only problem, you know, but you got to fight the causeway to get on. I mean, because there's only 2 ways to the park, and only one that people really want to take. The other one is 20 miles an hour the whole way through. It's not even 25. You know, it's
you're going to catch private people over.
Yeah, and they will too, because I can't remember the name of the little area right there's a little village, but there's $1 million cottages sitting right on the lakefront there. You know, people don't want people flying through their neighborhood.
Exactly. Is your question?
Jungle Jack Safari. Yes, I do. I think I watched it every year I went up until it. I can't even remember when it went away now, because I remember when I went up last time. It had been a couple years since I went, and I was like, "There's no safari anymore." I mean, they had Bengal tigers. They had, you know, I mean, it was something you'd never think you would see on the shores of Sandusky, Ohio.
There's a safari.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a real safari. It's, you go in. It's like, I think it was called Jungle Larry's Exotic Animal Show, if I remember right. But Jungle Larry, he was. I don't even really remember how the whole show went, but they've got a place up there outside of where Thunder Canyon is, where you can stand and watch people blow hand blown glass. I mean, with the long steel pipes, and I mean, and they used to, and I don't know if they still do, but I don't remember the Black Panthers. I mean, I'm sure now that you got me thinking about it, I'll wake up tomorrow morning and be like, man, I remember all that now. But yeah, it was, but you used to be able to take a class on how to hand blow glass. and you got to take your piece.
Wow. Wait,
Yeah.
It was a class.
Well, they did a demonstration too. You could walk by any time of the day, and they were hand blowing glass.
Yeah.
They've got a and it was called Oceana. Was the name of the? It was
Oceana.
I mean, they did. Yeah, Oceana was the name of the aquarium. They did a dolphin show in there. Yeah, true.
If some people know what I'm talking about, you can let me know.
But you walked along the outside and you could see the dolphins swimming down in the tanks and everything. But they did a dolphin show, and which, if you think about it, it gets cold up there in the wintertime. I don't know what they did with these things in the wintertime, but
I heard. Well, wait. Let's stop there. But remember, what SeaWorld used to do.
True.
You know what SeaWorld used to do, right? They used to transport all their animals down to Texas, to Ohio, and bring them back up.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Could you imagine trying to transport a killer whale?
Shamu.
Yeah.
Because Shamu was everywhere. That's what their thing was. It was the Shamu. But yeah. They did it though. They did it.
Yep. But they had a sister park to take it to. Cedar Point in those days, it was Cedar Point. So where did they take these things in the wintertime?
Look at where they were taking. Like I said, they were taking it down to Texas. They weren't going to Texas.
Yeah.
I mean, really, like, come on.
But then again, even SeaWorld has learned over the years that, okay, these killer whales are not happy. So you don't have all the stuff that they used to. And to keep on this SeaWorld thing, I don't know how I feel. I don't know how I feel about SeaWorld, because I know what they did and what they still do, but I also see what comes out of it. If you sit down and you watch the documentaries on what SeaWorld gives back.
Yeah. Blackfish.
Yeah. I mean, that was horrendous. And then SeaWorld smartly got on the ball and says, okay, we're putting out this documentary. We want you to see what we're putting back into the oceans.
Did they put one out?
Yes, they did.
Did they release it?
They released a lot of video. I think they did a short documentary, and I think it aired on HBO. I think they partnered with HBO for it, which at the time was a great idea, because HBO, as far as that type of entertainment, HBO makes the best documentaries out there. And they basically said, okay, you want to knock us for this little piece. Okay, we understand. And I think, if I remember right, if this was the authorized one, they said, we'll lick our wounds on this. We understand that we could have done better, but we want to show you the billions of dollars over the last 40 years that we put into the environment. This is the amount of sea turtles we've saved because of the money that we've raised doing what we did. Yeah. Do you disagree with it? Yes. But were we doing it for the right reasons? And I think without doing that, they would, because after Blackfish came out, they were on the verge of going bankrupt. That's the reason why Busch Gardens sold Busch Gardens and SeaWorld. There's an equity group that holds those companies now. It's no longer owned by the Busch family. It's owned by a company that's basically, they're basically a conglomerate of people who just invest money in and out of this company. And that's what keeps SeaWorld and Busch Gardens going. And that's the reason why, even though Busch Gardens is growing as far as roller coasters go, you still hear people say that Busch Gardens in Tampa Bay is the armpit of theme parks. From what I've seen, it doesn't seem like it to me, but I've heard a lot of people say that it is kind of the armpit of theme parks in Florida. Now, have you ever been there?
No. I've been to Virginia.
See,
I've been to Williamsburg. I've not
Okay.
been to Tampa.
I think I would like to go and see it for myself. And the only person that I've really watched in my last few years of YouTube that really covers it is the Trackers. And he's full time, or he's full media for them. He gets hard hat tours. So how much is he really showing? But when he does what he shows, looks nice.
Like, I'm only going to say good about Six Flags. I'm sorry, it's just what it is.
Yeah.
Then anywhere I go, we only say good. Negativity out there. There's people that bash every single thing out there. Not just theme parks with us. Like, I can go like with the Puppetry of Arts Museum, where I went to. Like, well, this show was horrible. Like, well, granted, it was not horrible at all. Or I could be like, oh, this food was bad, but the show was no. I'm like, okay, like, we're gonna show the fun, and I mean, but I get it why he's only showing good.
Yeah,
because he is on media.
Well, not just that, he's hard hat media. He's getting hard hat access to these new rides being built. Not all media gets that. So, and Shelly, I just seen your comment. The Snoopy theme. I'm a big Peanuts fan myself, but I grew up with the Berenstain Bears being there, so it was a little weird seeing that transition. Because the Berenstain Bears.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
Berenstain Bears.
They were creepy.
Well, yeah, but when you're used to it being in your theme park. But when you're used to that being part of your theme park, you get used to what you see. And then going back the next year, and all of a sudden there's Snoopy. Where's the creepy bears? The brother and sister that are a little too close to each other,
Yeah.
Hey, the Berenstains. Mandela effect. Used to be Berenstein.
Yes.
Now it's Berenstain.
The one you want to get into the Mandela effect would be Jeff. He knows way too much about the Mandela effect.
Oh, the Mandela effect is one of my favorite things to read about. Anytime I hear somebody say this is a Mandela effect, I go right to the internet. I go right to my Tor network and I do a deep dive.
Sit here and have hours and top of hours worth of conversation with you and bring up so many of them, and you'll be like, wow, I didn't realize.
Well, I've got a buddy who's still trying to decide whether the earth is flat or not. He's not quite sure. He's convinced that the world is round.
I worked with somebody who would preach this every day, and I'm like, please just stop. Just
the whole flat earth theory.
Just stop, man. Like, I couldn't.
Well, no planes fly over the Pacific Ocean. It's proof that the earth is flat. Shut up. My feeling on people like that is how did you wind up being able to process oxygen? Because it's not working in your body right.
He's like, yeah, there's an ice wall set up. I've never seen this ice wall. I'm like, oh, so you're telling me there's an ice wall set up, so winter's coming? I'm like, have you been watching too much Game of Thrones saying that up? Okay, buddy, the White Walker coming too? Thanks.
Yeah, I think somebody's smoking a little too much of that left-handed stuff. And I'm not talking about weed either. So you got to be smoking some hardcore stuff to believe. I've seen too many images from space. They've kind of debunked that theory a few times. That guy from
sitting up in a space station, like along when they go like the live space views of the Earth. Like, come on.
Oh, come on, that's a hoax. They faked the moon landing. You don't think they'll fake the Earth being round?
Listen,
it's like, come on,
the moon
dude.
landing. faking a moon landing is different than the Earth being round. Okay.
That's what I've tried to argue with people. You know what? And here's one thing about both. In order to keep this secret of the Earth being flat, requires more than one person knowing. And you know, when you have a secret, the more people that know that secret, what is it no longer? It's no longer a secret. It's public knowledge. Come on, dude.
Like,
I mean,
he's like,
did your mother?
We never went to the moon, and this. Okay, maybe the first time I'll give you that. Maybe the first time we never went to the moon. I get it. We needed to advance ourselves here and make ourselves. Okay, space was made in a Hollywood basement. Great. We all heard the Red Hot Chili Peppers sing about it. We know, thanks.
Yep.
But like, the first one, and then they were like, well, we got it, but we need to get there for real now,
Well, and it's, Buzz Aldrin, who was on the first moon landing. I mean, this man has been arrested so many times over assault because someone has questioned him. You know what? When you get to a certain age, Neil Armstrong died. You would think, I got nothing to lose here. We didn't land there. Come on. Yeah, it's like people say. I've heard people actually argue with me. Because he told me to go to this group and ask questions about the flat Earth thing. So I went and then people would start in on me about the moon landing. Then I had people telling me, says, we have never even left Earth. I'm like, have you never ridden in an airplane? You leave the Earth every time you get in an airplane. You're reaching a different level of the atmosphere. You are no longer part of the. You're in a whole different gravitational percentage at 36,000 feet. You are closer to being out of the atmosphere than you are being in the atmosphere at that point.
Exactly.
Well, and that's like the guy, what's the flat earther who wanted to build the spaceship to go up to prove the Earth was flat? He's in Texas, I think. Yeah, I'm sure you've heard of what I'm talking about. This guy, and he was testing his rocket, and his rocket crashed, and he's like, well, I can't afford to build another,
Yeah.
Well, maybe you shouldn't have been able.
There were people trying to build a ladder to go up to space. The ladder that went up to space. The sky ladder or whatever they were calling it.
I didn't hear that, but I can only imagine. Those
like,
people,
where is this?
I want to sit.
Yeah, it came. Of course, it's going to, because this thing's wobbling back and forth. Well, what is supporting it?
Well, and then people say that gravity has been created by the government to give you the illusion that the Earth is round. I said, so you're telling me that we have been walking this Earth all these years, and we just now came up with gravity. Have you heard this one? The gravity is government created. I just heard this one about 6 months ago. And I read it. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And they're like, yeah, when the aliens started visiting us, they gave us the technology to create gravity. I'm like, well, weren't we standing on Earth when they started visiting us? I mean, and then I love the people that are like, well, they say the Earth spins at such and such miles per hour. Why don't we spin off of it? Gravity. I mean, it's that simple.
Centrifugal force. Centrifuge.
And one of my favorites is people that say, well, if the Earth was round, people couldn't live in Australia and New Zealand because the blood would rush to their head. That no matter where you stand in the Earth, it's got the same gravitational pull. It's trying to pull you through the ground. It's trying to pull you down to the core of the Earth. Come on, dude. You can't have things like nature and gravity. You can't have weather. You cannot have wind if you have a flat Earth. It cannot have, because once you leave the atmosphere, it is a vacuum. Once you enter the atmosphere, no, you can't. Yeah, I mean, you can try to. And my favorite was, I'm sure you've heard of Neil deGrasse Tyson,
Of course.
the guy that talks about. Okay, one time I
He's a New
remember
Yorker.
seeing. Okay, one and him and I'm sure you've heard of Michio Kaku, the Japanese physicist. Okay, they were interviewing both of them, and I remember the interviewer says, "Okay, I'm going to throw it out there, guys. Flat Earth." Neil deGrasse Tyson says, "Those people are idiots
Get
and
out of
deserve
here.
to die." Well, you know him
Yeah.
anyway. He doesn't pull any punches. He goes, "Those people are idiots and deserve to die."
Oh, yeah. He walked
And,
out
you
of
know,
many interviews about Flat Earth. He's like, you know what? I'm gone. Goodbye.
Yeah, and Jonathan, that is one of my favorite things. I tell flat earthers all the time. Okay, hey, you just brought it up. Here's the thing. And, you know, I find it hard to believe that at one point in time that we were all one continent. But that is something you can look at the shape of the continents, and you can look at the way, and they have proven that our continents are moving every year. It's very small amounts, but
Right.
you think of over 10 million years, how far these are going to drift apart. And people
Well,
are
that's
like,
like, I don't know
well,
if you heard
well,
that the are we spinning, you know, in a circle, like how we normally think we're spinning,
mhm.
but spinning this way also, counterclockwise.
Oh,
They're saying.
so that they can talk about why we have nighttime. 'Cause that's my favorite thing to tell them.
No,
Say, why isn't it
they're
always light?
talking about basically
Oh,
what
that we actually
if
spin from
you
north to south pole.
that basically New York is going to go where Florida is. Like we're turning, but we're turning a lot spinning.
Yeah, but you know, if you think about the ice age and how long ago that was, and we talk about, and I am very on the fence about climate change. I think there's something to it, but not what they're thinking. You think about the ice age. What caused the ice age? If you look at the ice age when it happened in North America, it wasn't happening in South America. The Earth had to turn one way or the other. You know,
Right.
so
Right.
so it's very natural. And I mean, we have two extremely strong magnetic points. The aurora borealis. That is going to be something I will do before I die. But I want to do it from the right. I want to do it where you're supposed to do it. Way up north. I want to be there. I want to experience it.
In the cold.
My wife's asking, what are we talking about? Like, we really know. I mean, we're just kind of rambling here. We're talking about my favorite people on earth, hon. We're talking about flat earthers. So right now, you know that I'm going off on a tangent. I love flat earthers because I love to show them just how stupid they are.
Yeah.
I mean, there comes a point in time where you have to say, okay, I'm done trying to be different than everybody else. How about we just come back to the fold? Let's be people again. And, you know, goes right back to what I kind of brought up and went on a tangent about everybody. Half of the people are mad and half of the people are happy. What is it going to take to get us all to just please get along again? Oh,
That's just wrong.
That is all. Hey, but
Yummy.
it's not worth timing her out. You got to admit that's interesting. Because you probably had some of that yummy stuff in your throat when you were sick.
No, not like that.
Just because they have their beliefs doesn't mean that they're not stupid. I mean, I'm allowed to believe in a million things, but that doesn't make me a smart man. If you believe the earth is flat, go out and prove it to me. I've got enough proof that shows me it's true. I've got people like Michio Kaku who holds like 27 degrees in different types of physics that can show me 100 reasons why flat earthers are absolute morons. And flat earthers can't give me one reason why Michikaku is wrong. All they can say is, well, because it is.
Look
The
at
earth
Shelley
is flat because I'm right. How are we making the point? You know what? That's an interesting theory. We're probably to blame for that too.
You know,
Here's one
we
for
probably
you
are
that's
because
even
we're
worse than
probably,
that.
you know, here's what I think is we're going up there and probing into things, helping them to make way for us to explore to get through. You know, rovers
here's the
probably
problem with
heaters or things and just melting and going right on through.
Yep. Well, and we brought this movie up a couple of times, The Matrix. When Mr. Smith is interrogating Morpheus, I figured out what you guys are. We're like cockroaches. We don't know how to live with the environment. We don't know how to live with each other. We just know how to devour everything in our path and just keep on moving. We think that we can just go to another planet, throw a million things on there, and we're not going to ruin anything.
We just want to just create. We want to destroy.
Yeah, in the name of creating.
Everything we touch, we destroy.
And this is from, and where I'm going with this next is this comes from a radio show that you catch on a lot of AM stations late at night. It's called After Dark, and a guy named Art Bell created it, and this went on from there. But you ever want to have a great night and have a good laugh? If you guys out there ever just look it up, look up Art Bell After Dark. I don't remember who hosts it now, but you'll find it on a million AM stations. Every flat earther and every other kook in the world loves to call this show. And they do a great job of trying to buy into it. And there are some people, they come on there and they have very plausible things going on. But you get these people that, hey, there's a shadow creature. Well, what does he look like? I don't know. He's a shadow. Well, come on, dude. You got to give me a better story than that. You can go over and stand with the flat earthers when we throw a smart bomb on you.
If I'm going to see something, I'll tell you, look, I didn't get a good view of it, but there's something there. Not be like, oh, it's a shadow creature. I'd be like, look, there's something out there. We got to go find out what that is.
Yeah.
Like these guys,
have you tried to take a picture of it?
Oh, there's something there. I'll go this way. I'm running away. Like.
Jonathan makes a good point too. To create, you must destroy something, and there's something to that.
This is true.
Yeah. I mean, we've created our former selves, or we've destroyed our former selves to create who we are now. If you believe in all the theories of how we evolved, we never ate meat. We figured out how to cook meat, so we destroyed ourselves to recreate ourselves as a smarter animal on the planet. I mean, would we have lasted if we didn't have?
Look at what was here before us. We weren't the first things on this planet. The first thing we had, according to what we were taught, we had dinosaurs on the planet before us, and then the great meteor came and destroyed the planet, and then we became here.
Yeah.
Realistically, that just puts a question into so many other things that other people want to say. Who is on the planet first? But you can't fight the fact that you have a massive T-Rex standing in a museum and that thing came from somewhere. And I know I've never seen a T-Rex walking down the main street.
No. No, not at all. And I mean, you think about it, we've been told that dinosaurs are gone for hundreds of years. We've taught that into schools. And I mean, are they really gone? I mean,
birds and turtles and this and that. They're all related to dinosaurs.
Yeah. So if you think about it, they never really, if something happened to this Earth today, say a nuclear war started, there's going to be billions of people that are going to die. Not everybody's going to.
Yeah.
Even the dumbest animal is going to find a way to survive. Maybe not enough to live out. Maybe not to live out and see the future generations of their species, and it might die out eventually.
Sturgeon is true.
Sturgeon. They talk about crocodiles and alligators, direct descendants of dinosaurs. They're literally, most birds. They say the crow is a direct descendant of the pterodactyl. And if you think about that, which I don't know how much you have to deal with crows down south. We have a massive crow. We've got a massive crow problem in the county we live in. Yeah,
we get a lot of murders.
They are extremely smart animals, and they have found out over the last 10 years they actually talk to each other.
Oh yeah.
Certain sounds they make, they talk to each other, and that's the reason why you can't get rid of them once they settle in. Yep. So, yeah, Jonathan.
And I don't think
they'll be back at no expense spared. No.
Like that's, hey, this is my home and I ain't going nowhere. It's no see you next spring or anything like that. It's you're gonna deal with me all winter.
No. Yeah, like out back of where I work, there's this massive tree out behind there, and I'll bet you it could be 5 degrees outside, and there will be 1,000 crows in this tree. And the only time, and they all move as one, they all come back as one.
Yep.
Keep your legs down. We don't need to see your monkey toes.
I got.
It's all right. I'll let it go.
Stupid food. Yeah, okay, I appreciate it. Desk. That's what I need.
When we bought this house, we stopped at the yard sale with these people we know and some people that were in with them. This chair that I'm sitting in is this crappy old, it's just a glider with an ottoman.
Yeah.
He says, $15 and it's yours. And we loaded it right up. Like, this will go right down in the basement for the kids. I use it as much as they do.
There you go.
So, since Shelly's still in here, I do have to let her know that being that I'm from Ohio and you lived in Ann Arbor, I'm very sorry to hear that. Ohioans have one thing to say about Ann Arbor, and it's not nice. Danny, when you lived up north, you said you don't fish. Have you ever fished at all in your life?
Yeah, I have.
Okay. Have you ever done ice fishing?
Yeah, never again.
Yeah, I've never done it, but I ran into a guy. I used to ride share at a factory I worked at years ago, and this guy's getting out of his truck at like 12:30 at night as I pull into town to drop off my friend at his truck. He's getting out this big auger, and he's getting out all this stuff. And I said, getting ready to do some ice fishing? He goes, yeah. He goes, we got a portable shanty that sits up here. We rent some space off the county. I said, oh, yeah. I said, you go back there and fish, huh? He goes, well, I don't know if you call it that. We hang out, and we drink beer, and we put our lines in the water. I says, I can do that in my own house. I can drink beer in my own house and be warm.
Yeah.
And Shelly, I'm sorry to hear that you hate a winter. I mean, maybe one day Michigan will be good again, but my wife's an Ohio State graduate, so it's a little hard for me to not give a little bit of something to somebody who lived in Ann Arbor.
Yeah.
Living up north, even if you're not a sports fan, if you lived up north anywhere near that area, I mean, you've probably seen it all the time. Ohio State, Michigan is one of the greatest rivalries anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, Jonathan,
Yeah,
I can sit at home. I can fill up a bucket and I can drop a line in it and pretend that I'm fishing. And I'm warm. And you know what else I can do while I'm doing that? I can flip on YouTube and I can watch my Saturday nights with Two Real Geeks.
Exactly. Exactly.
I think I recognize every name from in here, but if you did not see last night's episode or one from 2 weeks ago, those two I highly recommend you checking out because there's a lot of chicken. Last night's was really good. And 2 weeks ago, there was a lot of chicken talk, a lot of sippy cup talk.
Yeah.
And Danny skipping over all my legging questions. I know he's seen them.
Yep.
But I know that he ignored
them.
Because I'd put it in, I'd wait a few seconds, and I'd see you look. Then I'd see you look back at the screen, so I'll talk about something else. I was like, oh, come on.
Anyways.
I mean, that's not the only thing you ignored last night, but we'll leave that alone.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Things are just fine the way they are. Let's leave it at
that. Jonathan
Ben said ice fishing. Yeah, check out Ben's right underneath of it.
Oh gosh, ice fishing. That's
just picture Ben sitting on the couch, his arm around Lofi, eating some Gordon's fish sticks. Ben, I made a comment on Twitter about the baby Planters peanut tonight. Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah. R.I.P. Mr. Peanut, right?
No, he's been reborn as a baby peanut. I think they're trying to get in on some of. I think they're trying to get in on some of PTV's action with Lofi.
Or the baby Yoda.
Or the baby Yoda. Yeah, I added Planters peanuts.
They had 2 commercials then today. One killed him off, and then another warned him.
Yep, with Wesley Snipes giving a eulogy for Mr. Nutt.
Oh my God! Like ridiculous.
Well,
you had this whole hype that everybody was like, oh my gosh, he's dead, and now it's surprise. Like,
yeah, now it's a baby peanut. Yeah, I even added Planters. I said, I think you're trying to get on some of that baby Lofi action.
And they're trying to get on that.
Because that's all I think. You got baby Yoda. You got baby Yoda. You got Lofi. I mean, both of them are one and the same. I mean, they're both huge. I mean, Lofi has his own agent. I mean, baby Yoda doesn't even have his own agent yet.
You don't need an agent. He's got Force.
He's got the Force. Hey, kid, do that hand thing. One of the greatest scenes in that entire season was, hey, kid, do the hand thing.
Yeah.
He needs a paint job.
It's amazing how Lofi has an agent and I don't have an agent.
I know. I think we need to talk to Ben and Arnie, have a little talk with Rob Fuzz. Maybe we can get some agent action too.
You know, I mean, really, I need some love over here too. I mean, come on. Where's my exposure? Enough exposure on my own, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. Lofi's got a New York agent to boot.
Bet. Let's not talk about New York because I can I can get you some New York agents here in a minute. Okay? Other than Rob.
With that
here,
accent, I don't know if we trust him or not.
Come on, what you talking about? Forget about it. Just forget about it.
Not only are they agents, but they also have their own trash businesses and some other businesses on the side. But
bridge too,
they're
okay?
here to help you.
I have a bridge to sell you. It's great.
So yeah,
Bridges.
if you did not, it takes 2 hours to get through either of them on a slow time of the day, and they cost a
Don't worry about
fortune.
that traffic. Don't worry about it. We'll move that traffic for you. Just put your head. Hey, yo, move. Come on.
Train Lofi with the ways of the force. Uh-oh, here comes Danny as a turd comment.
Yeah, I don't even know where this came from. I don't even know where, but whatever. Look at what he put. I bet you could get me something from New York. And the chickens. Thanks.
Yeah. Hey, it. Got to put them in there somewhere.
I need to get down to the giant chicken. That's what I need to do.
Speaking of that, Jonathan, what is the name of that movie? We haven't figured it out yet, have we? The name of the chicken, first person. Yeah, is it a
person turkey killer? Yeah, he said it was a turkey.
Okay, but we never got a name, did we? You can thank Jess for associating you with turds.
I'm going to put a block on turds and hashtag Danny is a turd. I'm going to block this.
Every time we try to put a chicken in, it'll just come up and disappear.
Sorry, it will come back to you. Won't even you could try to put it in, but it will just not go. Hold on. Oh man, Ben, you definitely amuse me. I have this. Oh man, we're still 7 deep right now.
Yeah, and as much fun as I have with this, one of the funnest times I had on YouTube was the night they had PTV had their giving thanks stream, and I was in there, and I was in there for quite a while, and just I highly enjoyed being involved with them in something. That was great.
Speaking of Thanksgiving,
it's Thanksgiving 3. I have a hard enough time believing there's one of them, let alone 3. Just saying. But then again, did they not make a sequel to Attack of the Killer Tomatoes? I'm pretty sure they did.
They made a cartoon for it.
I mean, but then again, we had movies like, was it Amazon Women from Outer Space? And
I
mean, if we can have that out there, we can have Killer Clowns from Outer Space, yeah.
What? Attack of the Killer Donuts was a film in 2016.
Attack of the Killer Donuts?
Yeah. Killer Tomatoes, there was a second one in 1988.
Yeah, I was thinking they made another one of those.
Came out in 1978.
I didn't realize that movie was that old. I remember watching it when I was young. I couldn't tell you 5 seconds of that movie, and I know I've seen the whole thing. If not once, at least, if not twice, at least one full time. And I couldn't tell you one piece of it. Donuts. You know, that is something outside of
If you
bagels
want to see
and
donut,
pizza.
yeah.
One thing, that's another thing I miss about New Jersey is the bakeries and the delis.
I miss
You
the
got to get up.
bodegas.
Oh, I love bodegas. You pay a fortune for some of that stuff, but man, you won't find greater stuff. You'll find stuff you can't find anywhere else in the world. Yeah.
It was convenient. You go there, you're on your way to work. Didn't matter how late you were running or how early you were running, the was there. You went down like me.
Yep.
When I was in New York, I was spoiled because my apartment building had a bodega downstairs attached to it.
And
Downstairs,
you know,
get your bacon, egg, and cheese on a roll. You know,
no
salt,
pork
pepper,
roll,
ketchup, hot sauce, and you're good to go. You take it good.
no pork roll.
No,
Gotta
no.
have pork roll. And for those of you that live anywhere but New York and New Jersey, pork roll is a marriage of ham and bacon. And when it fries and you put it on a sandwich, I mean, especially I loved pork roll, egg, cheese, and potato in the morning. I didn't do the ketchup. I did hot sauce and I did some garlic, you know, like some shaky or granulated garlic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you could go for
Mm-hmm.
2 days on that. That sandwich come out to be like this
So,
tall.
Danny Monday morning hangover special is what they used to call it, even though I wasn't drunk. It was just a weekend hangover special because, you know, Monday morning comes around and you just don't want hungry in the morning. Yeah, Monday morning you're always the hungriest. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
especially
Yep.
when you got to get up early in the morning, it's cold out, and you just need to move. You need something to get you moving, as you or
You've been
something.
playing the
So,
CBGBs all weekend.
yeah, you know. So the sandwich was bacon, ham, pepper jack cheese, and onion on a roll. Salt, pepper, ketchup, hot sauce.
I could do without the onion. My onion's got to be. I can't have raw onion. That raw onion stuff just doesn't
No,
agree with me.
it wasn't raw. It was on the grill.
All sautéed. Oh, all right.
This is
I
New
feel
York.
you.
This is New York style. Everything's on the grill. Okay, everything is on the grill.
Did you have it on a Kaiser roll or a bagel? Which did you say?
On a roll. On a roll.
All right. Now, and here's something that even places around here, if you find like an Einstein bagel, which if you don't live on the coast, that's the closest thing you can come to a good bagel. What drives me nuts is when you go in, they do not make salt bagels. There's nothing better than a salt bagel with butter and cream cheese. If you're having I mean, if anybody loves soft pretzels, you will love a salt bagel even more. There's something about it, especially, you know, get your breakfast sandwich on a salt bagel. You got that.
If I was a sandwich or something like that.
Yeah.
Chicken salad on it, like chicken salad, tuna salad, something like that was good on a salt bagel.
Yeah. Yeah. So, salt bagels, I mean, I miss those. And I remember I tell people, like, you will never have anything better than a salt bagel. People be like, a salty bagel? You're like, you don't eat pretzels? You've never ate a soft pretzel. Okay. So you can't tell me you wouldn't like it if you like soft pretzels. But, you know, bagel has that marriage of crusty and soft. So it was the best of both worlds. Yeah, if I lived in California, Mexican food would be about all I'd eat. When last time I went to Arizona, that's all I ate for a week.
If I was in California, I would definitely go to one of those beachfront food trucks.
Mm-hmm.
The fish tacos, but it would have to be the dude with the fishing to go out there and catch the fresh fish and come back and cook it great longer than I want it. But I hear great things about those tacos. So
You know, one of my favorite things, I went a long time ago and spent a week up in Portland, Maine, and there was nothing better. And I never actually ate lobster up there, but I ate my own weight in lobster roll that week. Because, you know, they can't give away those claws, but they can get all that meat. Lobster. And on those New England style hot dog rolls, you know,
Yes.
you just, I bet you I ate 5 of them a day. And I've had lobster roll in several other places since, and it's never compared to the way it was made up there. I don't. And then the way they do slaw up there, which I mean, I've had it that way before, but didn't care for it. Apple cider slaw.
Mm-hmm.
I hate creamy coleslaw, but I'll tell you what, they gave me that apple cider slaw, and I ate my own weight in apple cider slaw too. I know it.
You need it's not even the cider. You need apple vinegar.
Yeah, apple vinegar. That's what I meant. Apple vinegar.
Yeah.
Yeah, the apple cider vinegar slaw. That, you know, and I'm not a big raw vegetable person, but you know, you get that apple cider vinegar in it and the seasonings they put in it, and it's just, yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I miss that.
You go up that way, like from like New York we used to have them in New York too. It was restaurants that used to sell lobster ravioli and lobster mac and cheese. Oh man, you want awesome? Get yourself some lobster ravioli with some pink sauce.
Never had it with. I've had it with just Alfredo sauce, but that sounds good. You talking like a vodka sauce?
Yeah, kind of. It's like a creamier vodka sauce.
Okay. Yeah, I try not to eat the vodka sauce very often because I don't know what they do different with it. It doesn't sit with me right a lot of times, but I'll tell you what, if I could eat it, that's all I would put on just about anything pasta that I make. There's something about the way that tastes compared to regular spaghetti sauce. It's just got a fuller flavor.
Yeah, exactly. It's creamier and
yeah, and it holds up better on your pasta. You know, when you scoop up your sauce, I mean, it just clings to it. And I don't know if maybe when I had it before, it's just the way they cook the pasta, or if it was the sauce itself.
yeah, I mean, there's some out there that are just bad. So
now, Jonathan said, or a rosé sauce. I've never had a rosé sauce. I'm not a big fan of the bitiness of a rosé anyway, so maybe I wouldn't like it, but yeah. Alfredo sauce doesn't do good with it. I take it. So say, yeah, yep. Ben, it sounds like you got some issues with food.
Yeah. It's like, who doesn't, Ben, do you not like food or does food not like you? Oh, man.
Now, you can't eat any seafood at all, Ben?
Oh, I love
That's
seafood.
what I want to know. Can you know, because, you know, I know people that can't eat like shellfish, but I've never heard of people that can't eat like regular fish.
I've heard of seafood allergy to fish. I've heard of that.
Oh, Ben, that's a shame. I wish some foods hated me. Even the foods that hate me, I still eat it. I'm one of those people. It's like, you know what? I'll just pay I'll pay the consequences.
Exactly.
Like something with a lot of tomato sauce is not good for me. I have a real hard time with like pizza, that like really good pizza. It's got like a good sauce to it. I can sit and eat it all night, but that sauce just does not sit right in my stomach.
I can eat anything.
Coffee, the same thing, man. Coffee.
I don't like coffee. I hate coffee. Like, I really don't like coffee.
I'm a huge fan.
Jess's.
My kids have even
Jess.
Jess told me,
drinks
says, "What would
all
you
day.
do?" My kids, even when they were younger, is like, "Dad, what would you do if there was no more coffee?" I said,
Look
"What?"
Jonathan said.
Well,
It's hilarious.
We're popular. People are listening.
He has a spy that's
Jonathan.
watching what we're doing, copying what we're doing, Tony. That's it.
Yeah, Jonathan, are you going over there and giving him ideas?
So nobody in how awesome my background is now. Kind of upset.
Danny's
I worked
awesome.
hard on that. Yeah,
he's been
let me show
painting
you
it
guys.
all
Here
day,
you go.
folks.
Yeah, like come on, the lights and everything, and really painting all day, but
And here I am with my my crappy Fallout shelter sign. It's not even in focus.
it's not crap. Brick wall and everything, it fits. It's cool. It works.
No, but when I get my office space done upstairs for the travel agency, I mean, I'd like to do a lot of my streams up there, because it's a nicer area, and it's especially when it's really cold outside. It gets cold in our basement. Arnie Decker recognized this evening at Trader Joe's.
I'm getting that a lot around town too. I'm getting we're mall, and we recognize in the mall, and we're like, okay, like I didn't even have anything on that. Like, no Toogie Real Geeks. I didn't have the hoodie or anything. I was just like it. We went in and out. We were going to GameStop. We went to GameStop to get our stuff, and we were recognized, and that was it. They're like, oh look, they're YouTubers. I was like, yeah, hi, can I get there, please? Thanks.
And Jonathan, we appreciate that you went over there to hit the like and came back to hang out with us.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Definitely appreciate that.
I mean, for me, I don't care if I've got one person in here or 500 people in here. Me and Danny kind of find this. Me and Danny find this is a great hang, period. And then when people come in, and you know what? Not for nothing. And I've said this to you before, Danny, and I even put it in my Twitter post tonight about the show. I love when people come in and put something in the chat that I can just look at and be like, oh, here we go. There's the fork in the road we were looking for. Because no matter what people tell you about their streams, I don't know what they do. Me and Danny might chat, text back and forth, or we might talk on the phone about a few things. But the one thing we've never talked about is what are we going to do tonight? We came in last Sunday and we were literally going, Danny, what'd you do today? And hope that he's got something, or he might do the same to me. And then something will get said, and then there we go.
Right. Nobody needs to know about my boring life. Come on.
Yeah, my whole thing is if we can't come in here and come up with it on the fly, then we're not creating what we said we're going to create. So I poured up on the window also. She's always got these great ideas, but you guys hear about them the same time I do. Either that or she did tell me and I just forgot, there's a good chance because she says I'm old. I mean, I don't feel that old. I mean, if I was really old, I wouldn't be the one going up on the coaster.
If she says you're old, then you're old.
Well, if I was really that old, would I be the one getting up and going on the coasters?
Yeah,
old men don't ride coasters.
Well, I'm a cool man. See what this old man can do.
Ben, I don't think you're that much older than I am.
She said, "Oh, whatever."
Believe it or not, No, there are times where I truly do feel old, but yeah, Ben, you're 10 years older than I am. I was thinking we were closer in age than that, but I guess we're not. Because a lot of people, even though I'm bald, don't realize how old I am. Now I'm starting
It's
to get
just
to
a
that age where I
number.
think people are noticing more.
It's just a number. What the hell? Who cares? Who the hell cares?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
I mean, except for the fact that my wife was in grade school when I graduated high school. That's not creepy. I mean, kind of the same for
No.
you and Jess. Your wife was graduated and you were still trying to tie your shoes.
Not that bad. Not that bad. It's only like 7 years apart.
Yeah. Which she's going to kill me. I can't think of our age. We're 8 years apart, I think. Well, let's just say I'm old. No, I'm 40. She's going to tell me in a minute. How old am I? My wife will tell me in a minute. I said it the other night. She's like, "You're not that old yet." She's like, "You will be this year or something." I'll be 46 this year, and I'm just as bad with her age. I always say how old she is, and she's like, "I was that age when we met." I'm like, "Well, you haven't aged." Okay, I will be 46.
Okay.
So, I'm old in that aspect. I'm not, but then again, we've got 18 kids. I base my age off of how old they are.
You're just like a rabbit.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's what keeps life going, right?
Sorry. I have 6 years between me and Jess, so.
Oh, you got corrected too, huh?
Well, no, I actually broke out the calculator. I was like, wait, that can't be right. I was off by 8 years. So.
What do you got going off back there?
But yeah.
Is Yoda setting the timer for something?
That's Jess in the kitchen. I am really surprised you heard that.
Jess, what are you cooking?
Hey, Gonzo, what's going on, buddy? Wow, I haven't seen you in a while. Mr. Gonzo Pop. If you guys haven't seen him, definitely check him out. What the hell is she doing?
Yes, Danny turned me on to you, Gonzo, here a little while ago. You do some really fun stuff.
What are you doing?
Hey, if she's cooking something in there, she can bring it on up here.
Cooking. I think she's making ramen with cheese.
You can't go wrong with ramen sometimes.
Grits with cheese. Grits.
You guys have lived in Georgia too long if she's eating grits. Nobody that was born.
Since I know her. Up in New York, she was making grits too.
Did you explain to her that it is almost illegal outside of the Cracker Barrel to be making grits if you grew up above the Mason-Dixon line? We don't eat
Listen.
Grits. Yeah, my wife says she loves grits. You know how many times I've seen her eat grits?
None. I don't eat
She loves grits.
I just don't. I just don't get it.
No. I'd rather just boil me up some potatoes and make some mashed potatoes. I mean, same thing, only tastier.
Just is saying I'm weird, but.
Well, if by you she means her, then yes, I agree. Yes, she's weird. She's like, it's because you don't make it for me or buy it. You know what? Every week I'm like, what do you need? She's like, just make whatever you want. So tonight I made a good old fashioned sausage gravy and biscuits. You can't go wrong with that. And homemade hash browns. Oh, there's just nothing better than sausage gravy and biscuits and hash browns.
It's actually corn.
It's corn. Well, just because it's corn doesn't mean I like it. I'll like it more because I won't.
Just because she says she'll eat grits, you should go out and make it for her and see what she does.
Well, here's the thing. If it's corn, now one thing
Yeah.
I do like that I didn't think I would, and years ago I tried it and I absolutely loved it, is cornmeal mush. I like to buy it and slice it up and make it like pancakes. And she's like, I don't like it.
Uh-huh.
I don't like it. And she's telling me she likes grits. So really, if it's corn, I mean, she likes grits. She should like cornmeal mush. I'm going to take a beating when she gets home in the morning.
Yeah, look.
Well, and that's just what I brought up too. Yep. You know what? If you like grits, you like mush. But if you like mush, it doesn't mean you have to like grits. Because grits taste like sandpaper.
I don't get the whole fascination with grits.
No, I don't either.
She likes hers with butter, salt, and pepper.
I know. That's what she says, but I've yet to see her make it. She likes Danny, she likes corned beef hash, which corned beef is great, right?
That's great.
Okay. And making it up with some hash browns is even better, right? Okay. Basically the same thing as corned beef. I mean, you can turn it into hash pretty simply. I mean, that's basically all it is.
Yeah.
Now she doesn't like corned beef hash. She likes the Alpo in a can corned beef and hash. I mean, that's
I'll eat the one I can.
Oof.
But if you're gonna give me the real thing, I'm gonna eat the real thing.
You know, but not for nothing. When you open it up, do you not get that slight hint of Alpo smell?
Well, it's just the fact that it's all mushed, like it's yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, Danny, it smells like Alpo. Hey, I have had to fill a few truth or dares before, and I'm not gonna say how, but I know what Alpo tastes like. This stuff tastes like Alpo.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You know, it just does. I don't know why, it just does. Because I love everything about a good Irish St. Patty's Day meal with the whole corned beef and the potatoes and everything. I don't want the soda bread. Keep the soda bread. That stuff's horrible. I mean,
really?
If I wanted bread, yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. Wait, have
Did
you had it
grow up
with or
with it,
without?
though?
What is it for it that you don't like about it?
It tastes watery. It tastes for one, you can taste there's still some of the aftertaste from the carbonation in it. You know how carbonation has a taste. Okay, it's got that taste to it. And when you drink something with carbonation, would you just drink carbonated water?
No.
No. That's the taste I taste in that bread.
Okay.
I taste that carbonated water taste. I mean, that's what you use to make the bread to begin with. So it's got that aftertaste in it. Yeah. It's like people that go to Disney and try the Beverly. If you like Beverly, you're going to like soda bread. It's just that simple. Because to be honest with you, thinking back in my head to what soda bread tastes like, thinking back to what soda bread tastes like, I can kind of feel that kind of Beverly reaction that I got the last time I had it. There's a reaction on your tongue that I just don't like.
Well,
the bread itself is really good, really airy.
Yeah, I mean,
Jonathan
I like soda bread.
Haggis. Oof.
Yeah.
If you're going to have haggis, you may as well have head cheese. Which Danny grew up in New York, so he knows what real head cheese smells like. It does not smell appetizing.
No.
It literally smells. It smells like death. I mean, it is death. I mean, basically, you're taking the fats from the head of a boiled pig, and you are congealing it and forming it into a cheese.
Spam. Shelby's bringing up the spam question. Shelby.
No. Nope. Nope. First of all, ramen noodles
No.
is cheaper and has all sorts of flavors.
Yeah. Well, there's different flavors to spam now.
And they can take those and keep them with the other spam and throw them out into the dumpster. You know, last I checked,
But
the only
they'll
people
still survive it.
that
Problem.
like spam are Hawaiians. Hawaiians love that stuff. They'll eat it all day long.
There's more.
Not me.
There's more, but yeah.
Yeah, not me though.
I
Jonathan
live here in Georgia.
loves head cheese.
There's a lot more.
You know, I've tried head cheese twice, and I only got it all the way down once. You know, because, well, you know, out along that area, the Jersey, New York area, you go to some nice delis. I mean, they've got it right out there, and you can smell it as soon as you walk in. If you've ever smelled head cheese, you know what it smells like. If you've never smelled it, you can't imagine what it smells like. Yeah, and I'm a fan of Limburger cheese. I love the taste of it. No, it is not one bit. Not one bit. Well, these two YouTubers don't like it.
No. You know what I'm good? You know what I'm obsessed with, though, Tony? Or you go to like Walmart or something, or even the malls and stuff. They have those Hillshire Farm smoked like summer sausages.
Oh, do you sit there and eat them?
I have.
You know what?
Jess got me one of those for Christmas, and I actually have the whole thing there. It came with like two cheeses, the cheese, and two. I'm like, damn. I'm like, when am I gonna break this thing open? She's still there. She's like, when are you gonna do this? When are you gonna eat this? I'm like, I need the right. Needs a perfect opportunity.
Now, here's something for you from the area you lived in. I'm sure that it was available to you. Have you ever tried blood sausage?
I did, and I did not like it.
Did you find it to have too much of an iron taste, or did you not like it for other reasons?
The taste. It was too like metal. It was like biting a piece of like steel.
Yeah.
Like, you know
now,
yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I got to be in the mood for it. I've not had it for probably 10 years.
See,
but
hey, coming from where I come from, this comment I'm going to put up right now is wrong. And
I know which one. I knew you were going to click that. Fried bologna is the staple of the American society. I mean,
that
fried bologna is great. And, you know, here's the thing. And you know what? If you don't like it, I mean, more power to you. But if you make fried bologna, you got to use. Some people just put spray stuff down, but
no, you got
if
butter.
you do it right with butter, and you let it get crispy, not burnt, but crispy.
Yeah.
Get it flipped right, get it cut right too, because if you don't put the nice little scores in it, you just get an umbrella.
Yeah.
But you get it on there, get a little bit of mayo, and if I have it, a slice of tomato. It's like having a BLT. Get your lettuce, your tomato, and your fried bologna.
You don't even need the tomato. This is what you do.
No, but if you got it.
This is what you do.
I could just throw
I'm gonna tell you right
bologna on a bread and eat it.
You take it, you fry the bologna, obviously. You put it there. You take the bologna, your bread, put some mayo on it or whatever you're going to put on there, right? You close it up, you take the sandwich, and you throw the sandwich back into the why? Because bologna leaves
like a grilled fried bologna.
All that grease. Okay? Now you're like, yeah, you understand where I'm going. It was basically soaking up all that grease from that bologna left, and it is the most amazing thing ever.
You know, and that's like, I'm very old school when it comes to when I fry bacon. You know, I do it on the griddle, and I take, and as soon as I think that tray gets close to full, I get the filter out and I strain it, and then I wait till it fills up again, strain it again, and off into the fridge, and there's my bacon butter.
Yeah.
And I fry a lot of stuff in that. And my mashed potatoes, got to have that in there. Got to have a little bit of that bacon flavor.
Yeah.
You know, because Jim Gaffigan said it best. The only thing better in this world than bacon is more bacon. It's the only thing. And I've yet to be able to disprove him on that.
Hey, Lando guy, what's going on, buddy? What's going on, Richard?
How you doing, Richard?
A lot of people coming
Good
in
to see you in here. Yeah.
Everybody's coming in. This is great.
Hey, you know what? Hey, I got time.
I gotta work.
I mean, Jonathan Chong said, well, you know, hey, at least you're waking up in the morning knowing that we had a great stream. But,
exactly.
You know, Jonathan said, America does not run on Dunkin'. It runs on grease. And that's true.
It is true.
And, you know, I know it's the same all over the U.S., but one thing that was different about living on the East Coast.
Hope no one in the 501st eats that. Yeah, exactly.
Instead of, aren't you a little too... Instead of being, aren't you a little too short to be a stormtrooper? Aren't you a little too fat to be a stormtrooper?
Aren't you a little too round to be a stormtrooper? Yeah.
You'll be like Barf in Spaceballs.
Yeah.
Hanging out of that costume everywhere.
Let me tell you, thank goodness I don't have a stormtrooper costume and I have a Jedi, because that amount of money on a costume that you would not be able to fit into after a while. No, sorry. I like to eat. Nope, sorry.
I want to ask a question in the chat. Danny thinks it would be a great idea. I've been doing something for a couple of years, and he said if I made some videos on it, he'd watch it. I was wondering what you guys thought. I do a lot of smoking off a propane grill. Danny says if I make the videos for it, he would definitely watch it. Is there anybody in here that would be interested in seeing videos like that, learning how to smoke foods on a propane grill and do it right and have it taste good?
Heck,
you know, it's taken, I mean, dude, I know that my wife will tell you when I first started doing it, she was like, you know, and then the more I worked at it, I kind of perfected a little method, did some new things, and did a lot of cool things to my grill. That way, when I smoke, all I got to do is change 2 settings, throw the stuff on there, and I've got my hot zone, my cold zone. I've got my smoke going, you know, and it's not going to be like, you know, people love their pellet grills now. That's like the big thing, pellet grills. You set it and forget it, just like the Ron Popeil method. But I'll tell you what, I'm producing stuff that maybe not 100% equal to a smoker or a pellet grill. But I'll tell you what, the stuff comes off there and it's delicious. So I would, yeah, Shelly. I mean, it's something I've been kicking around. And, you know, Danny's like, hell, you know, I'd watch it if you made it, you know. In propane, you know, Richard said it. Propane is hard to cook right. And I'm not even, and I'll tell you what, I used to be.
Channels like that get so many sponsors.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, and speaking of that, one of the guys that. Yeah.
Started a channel called Propane Grilling Perfection.
Yeah, and I've watched these guys try to give tips on how to smoke off your propane grill, and every method I tried just failed, and then I started throwing things together and everything worked good. And you know, that's like my buddy, he even cooks over charcoal when he wants to smoke stuff. He's like, man, some of the stuff you pull off is better than what I can do with the divided charcoal grill. He goes, I don't know what you're doing. He goes, but it works. You know, you know, he's a fat guy like I am. You know, he enjoys his barbecued food, and you know, he really likes what I've been cooking.
I just can't cook it. So someone like you that shows how to cook it, I'm all about it,
Yeah. Yeah, with the day we got tomorrow, I actually thought about going and pulling some stuff out of the freezer and doing some tomorrow, I don't have a lot going on tomorrow. I got time to go out there and do some filming. The poor girl needs a good cleaning before I do it. But yeah, I think I want to try and throw it on there. Alpha Traveler, you know what? You're absolutely right. Why ask the question? The
100%
worst regret for people is having ideas that never come to fruition. If I've got the idea, what's the worst can happen? Nobody watches it.
See, look, like I told you, Tony, too, is, yeah, we have, you kind of set yourself towards a set audience at some point. Just like us, we don't sit here and say, like, we're a Disney channel, we're a theme park channel, we're this channel. Like, I like the fact that geeks and, well, the world's my playground, and I can do whatever I want, Like, yeah, I'll dabble in the middle of everything, but I'll make it fun, and that's all we aim for. So because of that, it opens up other people from other like I get the nerd, get the moms and stuff coming into us, like the mommy groups and stuff coming in and saying, oh, great channel and stuff, and so we get it over. And that's when you do the cooking stuff, well, now you opened yourself up to the grilling, like I can realistically, where'd it go? I don't know where it went.
Yeah.
Oh, here it is.
Well,
I can open myself to the fishing community now,
Yeah. Yep. Well, one of the guys I probably watched.
Whatever. But yeah, it's just, I got the drone community here in a little bit when I start flying that thing,
Yeah, and one of the guys that's completely out of the community that I don't miss a release for his videos. The guy's name's Cosmo Q Barbecue. He's like an SCA ribeye champion, and he puts out videos all the time. And literally all he does is these meat companies send him Wagyu beef, prime rib, and they're like, hey, do what you need to with it. Make a video. Just make sure you use our name. And he uses smokers and stuff, but this dude is Larry the Cable Guy with grilling skills.
And I'm sure the smoke they were probably given to him by the company just to make these videos. The wood was probably sent to him too, and all this stuff. Just
Well, he built himself up. Now he's got his own storefront in Oklahoma, where he sells all his rubs and everything. That's the only thing I worry about is I've got a few that I've created. I don't want to, I don't want them to get out, but you know what I mean? But I want to show that stuff off.
Right. But if you don't want to show it, then don't show it. It's on you. You can show, hey, look, we're cooking this, and this is what you need, and not explain how you do and per se, be like, oh, look, I made this, kind of explain how you made your own secret little, weapon there, but still show it, that show it cooking and how it worked,
Yeah. You know what? I might do something tomorrow. It'll give me a chance to learn to better edit as well, because like any of you that are subscribed to me, that the stuff that I have up outside of my live streams is very pedestrian. I've got some really, and mine's not even a Weber. Mine is literally Walmart brand we bought for $149. And but I take good care of it, but right now, my wife just got on me today. She said, after we moved out to the new house, you've left it sit outside, which is not me at all. Mine was always undercover, but
yeah.
When you take something like that and you turn food into great, smoking a good pork butt or ribs, and people say, "Oh, you can't do that on a propane grill." I pulled off stuff that definitely come off just as good as it did come off a smoker. It's not going to have all the flavor it did from a smoker, but it's going to have every flavor profile you're looking for. It's going to be juicy. It's going to be tender. It's not going to be dried out like propane grills tend to do.
Right.
And what's funny is 5 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to boil water on a grill. I hated cooking on a grill. My domain's always been the kitchen.
It's an art.
For the last, for 20 years, I've been perfecting what I do in the kitchen. And then I had no patience for the grill, because you can't walk away and do other things because you got to come inside. You got to do this and that. In the kitchen, I got total control. And then when me and my wife got together, we bought that grill and I started to slow down and get better at it. And then I was like, you know what? I like this a lot. That's like, I've told you my son Brandon, he aspires to be a chef and a baker. Which, I mean, his mom's a good cook too, don't get me wrong, but I have a love for it. Yeah. Yes, Ben. Yes, we've heard that story a few times. That I've also heard that you've burned water a few times as well, but you know what? Jonathan, all I know is I never laughed so hard in my life when Arnie talked about Ben ruining a crock pot. It doesn't get much easier than crock pot cooking. That's why we love you, Ben.
I would have Ben. I probably would have blown the crock pot up, but that's me.
Okay, we got to stop a second and recognize what Richard just said. You see it down there?
This one?
Yeah. A pot strainer for a really thin cheese grater. Now, I'm trying to picture this. I'm getting mental images of him cussing at this thing while he's trying to grate cheese on it.
Have a good night, Alpha Tribe, buddy. Appreciate it.
Yeah, have a good night. Yeah, that's a good one right there.
Yeah.
But
I've heard it all. I've heard it all now.
A lot of people, there are millions of people out there that are even just passable in the kitchen. But there are so many people that just can't do the basic stuff, which I think oh, Richard, that is great.
A funny dude, man. I definitely appreciate you and everything. That whenever you come around, brother, you are a funny dude. I don't know. Have you seen his videos?
I've caught a few of them, yes, because I've seen him coming into Pete. Really, so I want to have to get more of them because I know I've laughed at about everything I've seen.
That channel is going to blow up quick. Richard,
and Richard, you're one of the guys that I've got on my back burner because I'm thankful for quite a few people, Danny especially, Ben, you, Arnie, and Doug. I appreciate you guys because you guys have invited me into this little niche of the community. And so I've gotten to the point where people started to know who I am in the community, just even from just the chat. So I try to show that love back, like to Richard. I see that he puts stuff out and I find that I can't keep up. Do you ever find yourself in that position where it's like, because you meet these people, me and Danny have had a chance to really develop a friendship through this. And I feel like I'm getting there with Doug, Arnie, and Ben. And I'm very thankful for that. And, my wife is constantly like, hey, you know, I got a good feeling about this person. I've got a good feeling or this and that. And, you know, I kind of gravitate towards that. And
Yeah.
my wife speaks so highly of you and Jess and so highly of Doug, Arnie, and Ben
I
that
appreciate
this
that.
is
We really
where
definitely appreciate that.
where I was at a point where I felt like I was ready to just live out Phantasmic Chronicles, just having a few videos up and being able to conversate in chat rooms, to where I feel like my channel is growing because I've allowed myself to connect with the right people finally. You know,
That's going to push you in the right way.
Yeah. You know, I know that sitting on a Friday night and watching Resort TV 1, I'm not going to grow from that. I mean, don't get me wrong, and all hats off to them for what they're doing. I don't mean anything bad by that. But with
Thanks, Shelly. I
getting,
appreciate it.
yeah. And, you know, that's like when my wife comments in the chat, we would love to see you come to Cedar Point. What she really means is she would love for you guys to come out and for us to be able to connect with you on a outside of the YouTube level. I mean, and she means that when she says it.
Yeah.
You know, like when me and you talk,
that's like
Danny,
what I was saying,
you know,
hey, we want to
off stream.
Point. It's like I know Tony's up there, and I'm like, let's go, Tony, let's go. You're making that brisket, let's go. You know.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's one of those things that, you know, Jonathan Chong said it best. Even when you are in a Resort TV 1 stream, with, you know, there's 81,000 people or 80 plus thousand. I'm not sure where they're at now. Even if they're not paying attention to you per se, there are 40 to 50 people that when you start communicating with them, they communicate back, and there's a genuine. It's weird. It's weird the time we live in, because, you know, you think just 20 years ago, before the internet was capable of handling videos and stuff, if you wanted to make friends, you had to either travel outside of your area and meet people and just happen to make friends. But, you know, we are able to connect in ways we never were before. And it's been awesome. You know, because let's face it, me and you would never know each other. Even though literally you were still living in New York, literally 45 miles away from me. We're living two different lives, but look how the difference in space now and the friendships make. Doug, Ben, and Arnie.
We move further apart from each other, and now we know each other. That happened, you know.
Now, I want you to bring up what my wife just said, because there's something I want to say about that as well. Yes, this is absolutely true right here. And and you know, there's a little bit of laughter behind it, but a lot of truth. Because I would never, I mean, even though our paths would probably never cross, what are the chances of me or you in the Pepper Tree Villa ever crossing paths? We are an entire nation apart. And look at the friendships that are made.
I'll tell you right now, for those people that you just, they're good high possibility. If I had the money to, like, for me to get, it would be more of a possibility. You know, it would be the first move, because it would be a lot cheaper for me to do. It's on my end, it's money. If I went to California, I go out of my way, that would be my number one thing. As soon as I got to California, would go to meet, you know, Arnie, Doug, and then that would be my number one priority. If I like go there, I'm like, nah, we got to stop and see Tony. You know, like that's the level that I'm at with you guys. You know.
Yeah. And I mean, and think about it, and you know, and in this small community where we're at, because my wife usually, if anything she wanted to say, it usually came through my channel, or she'd be like, hey, what's this? And then, you know, I'd ask. And now when she comes in here, And I mean, yeah, this is a smaller community than some of them that we're in. You know, she is starting, you know, people are like, hi, Martine. You know, they know that that is
Exactly.
my wife. And, you know, and I was always edgy about bringing my name into this. You know, I always wanted it to be just Phantasmic Chronicles. I didn't want to be Tony.
Yeah.
I didn't want that name out there. And then I was like, you know what? What is it hurting? Now, exactly where I live, nah, because there's a possibility.
Right. You know, back a few years ago, I would have been like, all right, yeah, I'm not going to use my name. Like, we thought about that too. But then I'm like, it's a simple button. Block or report. That's it.
Yeah.
You want to make up another fake account to come into my stream, another view or dislike or whatever, and make a nasty comment. Like, I've never had it. I never had it. And I, you know, knock on wood, you know, like you've seen our stream, Moon chat, you know, which is great.
Nope.
Obviously, I'm doing something right for that, you know, whatever. I may get a dislike here or there, but you get that dislike, you're doing something right, whatever. I don't care. But you want to come in and leave a nasty comment. I've had nasty comments left on videos. Okay. Block or report, whatever, however report it or just block you. That's it. I'm not going to sit here and fight with you. I'm not going to entertain it.
Yeah.
It's what you're looking for, not entertaining it. Goodbye.
Yeah, and that's, you know, this community is, I've learned to embrace what I'm trying to do here. I've learned to embrace what everybody else is trying to do for me. So why can't I, you know, using my first name, what is that hurting? How much can you search on Tony? I mean, I'm not hard to find on Facebook. If you want to find me, that's fine. I mean, then again, I'm in an area where you're probably not going to find my house anyway. You're going to have to search. You're going to have to really search to find me. We had, as a matter of fact, I get a call from my mom one night about 3 days ago. Now, I've told you, I live in a village of like 300 people. And there was a disappearance of someone. 5 sheriff's deputies and special response and a paddy wagon and everything else. I mean, literally, if I walk out my backyard and walk 200 feet, there was half of the sheriff's department there searching for someone who turned up dead, and they were looking for, and they arrested people for it. I mean, literally that close to my house. My mom calls, what's going on down there where you live? I said, I don't know. Because if you walk out my back door at night, it's pitch black. I've got 2 lights on my garage just that are on all night with photo cells, because without it, you trip over your own feet. It gets that dark. Yeah. So
exactly.
All backs. It's all good. We're just talking about the community and where I'm at. Everything's perfectly okay. We were just talking about
nothing horrible.
Yeah, nothing horrible at all. We were just kind of touching on the community and how the community can embrace you. You know. Yeah. And that's when I think I even said it on last week's stream. I have gravitated away from the large channels. And
I have too, honestly.
You know, and I don't mean that in a bad way, because I mean, let's face it, of this whole group of people that stream, I'm probably the smallest right now. I'm at 150, which, by the way, I hit 150 subs this week. Danny, when we started this, what was I at? 65 subscribers. You know, I'm moving in the right direction, and I'm doing it the right way. You know, I'm putting myself out there, and I'm enjoying what everybody is doing. Yeah. So, you know, I want this to grow. But I want everybody around me to grow as well, which I'll let you into a little insight. Although me and Danny don't pre-show, the discussion tonight is, hey, whose channel do we go on? I mean, we're going on 3 hours. I looked up. I thought we were like 2. Have we really been on for 3 hours?
About 30 seconds. It'll be 3 hours.
Wow. But the discussion was, hey, you know, you just reached 150. So do you want to go on your channel? He goes, he actually said, I want to see what response we get in the chat if you go live. And I'm like, think about it. I'm at 150. I got to grow. I'm going to be filming a lot this summer, and a lot of that's going to carry over into the winter. So what are these hours going to do for me tonight? You know, Danny just gained people watching plus 3 hours tonight. Danny has put in all the legwork to get monetized. So it didn't help me going live on my channel tonight. And, you know, Danny's like, no, I want to see. And I'm like, no. I was like, this is what we need to do. So, I mean, that's why it's on Danny's channel tonight.
We have Monday nights, I have Wednesday nights, and I have Saturday nights that we go live. So,
and Danny on game night is going to wear leggings and play Monopoly again. No, okay.
No, we are not.
He's going to wear leggings and play something different, right? The leggings you're wearing the leggings, right?
We're doing the villains game this week, the Disney villains game.
Hey, when I brought up Cards Against Humanity, I didn't know everything about it because I've never played it. So me and my wife, we were laughing. We were laughing, talking about it. It can be as fun or as cruel as you want it to be.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like one of the examples they gave is Batman likes to do, and then like options of like give kids balloons, and the other option was commit child abuse. And it's like, I'm like, man, I mean, yeah, it's wrong on so many levels, but at the same time, how funny is that? That you're not really even playing for a winner. You're just you're saying things that you would never say out in public.
You really are as a person, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jonathan said better yet. 2 real geeks lederhosen. There's a challenge. Hey guys, get him monetized. He can do the chicken dance in lederhosen.
I would have to find some.
Shelly, I'm going to tell you something that many people have told me. If you've got 100 subs or 150 subs or 1,500 subs, if you feel like going live, do it. We have had nights. We've had nights where we've had 2 people in the chat and no one chatting. But we continue to just do this. Whatever you feel like you want to do it. Because
Shelly,
if you go back and watch.
You go in there, even if you have one person watching you, that's all you need. You have an audience. Somebody who wants to watch you. I mean, realistically, if you think about it, when you make a video, you only really technically have one person at a time, technically, if you think about it. Yes, granted, you know, Tony could watch your video and I can watch your video at the same time, but Tony's one view, I'm another view. So,
yep.
Just if you have one person in that chat, just go and give them your attention. That's it. Just do what you were going to do.
And make that.
And that's all it is. You know?
Shelly, and I'm not begging you to go watch my stuff, but go to my channel and watch my DAS video and watch my mannerisms and watch how uncomfortable I am. There are points in time where I'm standing there trying to think of what I need to say next. And Danny knows. I would sit there and stare at the chat waiting for someone to answer a question I asked them. It's like, you know, as I watch it, I'm like, man, how ridiculous is that? But
at night, that first you were on, you're like, yeah. So I'm like, Tony, you want me to come on and you're like, yes.
Yeah. I mean,
here's the link.
So
okay, cool. And from there you were like, okay, yeah, we're good now. And like, you know, we were talking about the system and it all flowed, but you had no clue what to do, and you were like, here, there, where, what?
And you know,
it's night and day.
Yeah, the first time I got invited to join somebody live, it was horrible. because first of all, I'm thinking in the back of my mind, this is somebody else's channel, and what am I going to do? And PTV can attest, sometimes you got to be saved from where you're at, because I know what I want to talk about, and I know that I am a long-winded talker, but I've got a lot to give. But if you can't,
I know
you can't give me the space to do it, I need someone. And here's the other thing, Shelly. If you have someone that you trust in the YouTube community, invite them to be on there with you. I mean, as weird as that sounds, someone that's got some experience doing it, which, I hate to say it, Danny is great at this. Danny is great with this. Danny sees you struggle and he finds ways to help you. And that's one of the things. And maybe I'm seeing it wrong, but there was times when I went on live with PTV that I didn't know where to find my words next, and everyone else picked up the pace and gave me bits to chew on and talk from. So if you're uncomfortable going live by yourself, don't be afraid to say, hey, what are you doing tonight? I want to do this. I want to do it for my channel. I want to see what kind of reaction I get. And if you feel comfortable with this is what I want to talk about. How comfortable are you with this topic? Okay, you're not. Okay, I want to go to the next person and explain to them, hey, I need someone that can talk with this with me. This is what I want to talk about, and make sure it's somebody that can keep up with you and keep you where you need to be.
Even if you took that you liked, reach out to them and be like, hey, look, I want to go live. What are we going to do? Because you're at that point where you can do anything with your channel. You can do it anywhere. Cool thing with us is we don't care where our videos go. We're just out here having fun doing what we're doing. Like, that's why we do theme parks, we do museums, we'll do arcade. Like, we're all over. We're like legit two real geeks. We don't care. If it's fun, we're there. Like,
real
we're doing
legit
a hard
ADHD.
Exactly. But that's fine. But like, we're doing a horror convention. Like, we kind of keep some kind of rhythm to it, like family friendly place, fun places to go. And think about where you're going to go on a weekend. You're going to take the family out somewhere. You're like, well, where are we going to go? Well, at least the two real geeks are in Atlanta, so we know we can watch their stuff and see where have they gone, and that we can take people. So we're just doing the hard for you by having the fun. And we're not showing you places. We're taking you places with us as we would act at these places. So, like, people have come up to us and said, wow, you really are like your videos. It's not a front. Well, I have no reason to put on a front. Videos, you're going to watch it as I am, as Jess is, in real life. So, but as far as going live, grab somebody, like Tony said, if you can have them come in, because 90% of YouTubers, they're going to be like, yeah, sure, I'll come live. Maybe you have somebody that's in your subscriptions that I don't have. I would jump over to me, also at the same, not jump over them, but they see that you both are working together and helps them out. Now, someone like me and Tony would say, hey, we're going to be live on this channel tonight, so we're going to try to help you out by bringing our people with us. So,
yep,
and
here's another thing: don't be afraid to reach out to other YouTubers and ask questions. We're good example. We're considering moving our stream to another night. Another YouTuber is. I read that and I was like, I'm just going to wait for Danny to see that.
The Orlando guy, I guess you're going to have to cut me off because we are talking about going to the Georgia Ren Fair. So, yeah.
But Shelly, I'll tell you this: when a good example is we're getting ready to move ourselves to another night. I mean, to a less congested time frame. And I reached out to a certain show and was like, hey, this is what we're doing. I don't want to step on you. You know, that way they also know the times we're going. And it also builds a rapport with the YouTubers you're working around. You know, because you're going to be putting your stuff out there. Just because we don't know it's going live doesn't mean a ton of people aren't going live at the same time. So you have to understand that when you go on, you are setting yourself up for success. Yep, Danny is a geek. So you know what? Yeah, I'm sure you follow some of these people on Instagram. So send them a message. Be like, hey, you know, I like your stuff. What would you suggest I do? You know, and like Jonathan said about Yvonne, you know, Kelly and Yvonne are two of my favorite YouTubers right now. They are moving up really fast. They are going to be, I think, going to be a huge channel, Myers and the Mouse. And they are truly genuine people. She's going to come back to you and she's going to talk to you. She's not going to ignore you. She's not going to blow you off. If you say, hey, I want to do my first live stream, what would you think if I came on? She might be like, yeah, I don't know, you know, and she may text you back and talk to her a little bit and you'll get to where you need to be. I mean, as long as you're upfront and genuine with people about what you want to accomplish and are trying to accomplish, people like them, people like us, will definitely be accommodated.
Sometimes if you want to shoot, you need to be a little bit of assertive with it and show that you're there on their train for the ride. I know with me, it takes a little bit of time to be like, all right, this is one of our true followers. Like now, like Ben, I know is one of ours, and you know, from the start. I mean, they, you know, Jonathan. I know Jonathan. Every time I go live, Jonathan's going to be there. Jonathan is on, you know, our train and riding this through, and you're going to be in there with the fun with us because every week I see him, every stream I see him, he's always there. You know, there's certain people you know who are loyal to you. So like if Jonathan ever, can we do something? And I'm going to be, yeah, let's go. You know, someone new coming up to me, like, you know, if I, whoever, you know, this is Jones channel, and, you know, comes to me and be like, hey, can we do something? I'll be like, who are you and why do you want me? You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Don't be afraid to make the connections.
You know, like I know you're on our train, and you know, if you came to me and said, hey, look, you know, X, Y, and Z, I'm like, let's make it happen. Because you've been active in chat, you know, things like that. Like, just like what you're doing tonight, you're being assertive with the channel, and you're showing, hey, look, let's rock it, you know. So,
Shelly, the comment, thanks for taking your time, guys. I want to go take that a step further. We didn't take any real time for it because it means something to us to tell you that. I mean, especially, you know, it comes from my heart when I say that, because I'm not that far ahead of you. I just hit 150. And I'm putting myself out here every Sunday. I plan on doing a lot more on the video side of it. But like I've told Danny off stream, I'm loving this. I'm loving the live stream stuff right now. And you know what? There's going to come a time where I'm going to start to get a little burnout on it. And me and Danny will talk about that when the day comes. And what are we going to do when that time comes? Danny's going to get to that point. He's doing 4 a week.
In December, Jess and I had to step back. It was a perfect time too because the holidays were, and we're like, oh man, these Saturdays are killing us. What are we going to do? But realistically, we just said, look, we're taking some time. Like it or not, we're taking time off. You know, so we stepped, you know, for a little while, we stopped it until after the New Year. Probably a week later, anticipated it, but we didn't care. It was on us. This weekend, we didn't go out and film anything this weekend. We took the weekend. You know what I was doing this weekend? I sat at the computer with my Nintendo Switch, and that's it. I don't care. I was playing video games all weekend. I don't care. Sometimes I need the time too. I love putting content out for you guys, but I need my time. And if I can't get my time, if I'm not rested and there and like, okay, you're not going to get a good video from me. And I want to give you a good video. So if I have to take that time, that's why. But you'll still get a live stream this week. It takes nothing to sit here and do this.
Yeah, and I just want to take this moment. Danny puts a lot out, and he puts a lot of effort into supporting others. And anybody in this chat, if you want to, he's not really going to say it, and you never really hear him say much about it. He might have a banner running. He might put it once or twice in the chat. At least give him a thumbs up. At least give him a share. And if you could, and if you can, make a PayPal donation to him. I mean, this does cost some money, you know, especially when you're not monetized. Everything that you do, you're putting money into to do, whether it's just going to see the puppets, whether it's just going to a museum, buying his annual passes every year to bring you the content that he does. You know, he wants to bring you more content.
Six Flags is a monthly fee for us. And, you know, granted, it's me and Jess, but then we have our dining plan on there too, which realistically, we only have one dining plan to save money, and we split it. So, I mean, granted, we're only 20 minutes from the park, but still, the dining plan helps us bring food to you guys in the park so you guys can see what you want to get and not want to get. And, you know, the options that they offer, especially during holiday in the park where there were more that we showed you guys. So,
yeah, and I'm not on here to try to force you to donate anything, because as
this one,
as you know, as YouTubers,
right
as
now,
you grow, you have the opportunities, but they're not there until you reach milestones. And I don't know if you've been watching Danny long enough, videos from 6 months ago to videos now, they've came a long way. And that's because Danny invested in new camera equipment to bring you better videos. And this is more for people watching on the replay than it is for the people in here.
Quality has changed. Like you, Tony, how much you were on a live stream before I got this new camera with me.
Yes.
Day. And this here, we don't really make money off of this here. I set the prices so low. So you saw the prices, Tony, when I brought it up one day. These prices are so low. A t-shirt for $20, the hoodies that me and Jess wear on there, you're not gonna find those anywhere like that. Any other YouTuber. Like we just want you guys to wear our. That's it.
And not for nothing, I'm setting up the same style of TeeSpring store that Danny is right now. And for him to charge $20 for a shirt, I mean, literally, he's making pennies on the dollar. Pardon me. And that's really what it is. It's about getting your name out.
I don't even care about making money on that. I just stuff right now. We're thinking about getting these out too. These shirts that we had made.
Now, can we get that on the back of a legging? Are we not talking? Or are we not talking about leggings still? I mean, Ben's in here. Ben, can we talk about chickens, sippy cups, and leggings?
No, he's got to start
No,
dreaming.
you got to go to bed, Ben.
Mm-hmm.
Ben, it's 3 hours later here, and we're still up. Ben, have a great night. It was great having you in here tonight. You know what?
Ben,
and to be honest,
night, buddy.
And to be honest, you know, we do watch to see how many people are in here because it's fun to know. You know, we've seen anywhere from 4 to 10 people in here. It doesn't matter how many of you are in here. We appreciate you all.
Oh yeah.
If it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be doing this. I mean, if there was nobody in here, I mean, me and Danny could do this on a backstage. We don't need to be live to have this conversation. We would have this conversation without you guys here, but we're enjoying bringing it to you.
This is probably the conversation we were going to have tonight anyways. Just something along these lines.
No, it wasn't. I think we were going to talk about the movie Snakes on a Plane or something about snakes on a plane.
Maybe.
Or something along those lines.
I have no idea.
And Shelly, it's great that you know that you don't want to put yourself in a niche. You know, when I first started my channel, what I wanted to be was a Disney. I wanted to do Disney stuff geared towards people that had autistic children.
Yeah.
I don't say it a whole. Yep, that's what I was referring to. And just a little bit about me. I have one child that is on the spectrum. I got one child that has sensory processing disorder, and I got another one that has oppositional defiance. So I got 3 boys, all with some problems that make it hard for trips like that. And I wanted to do nothing but help people go there. And now here I am, a year later, doing this. And I'm loving this more. And I feel like I'm doing more here than I am just doing that. Not saying I won't do that, but I'm enjoying this. And I think I'm creating better content with this right now. That doesn't mean one day that I won't be in that genre the majority of the time.
You know what it is? I'm going to tell you what it is with you, Tony. Is you're doing it with somebody, right? And if you were doing this on your own, you would feel weird because you're not talking to anybody but yourself, and then there's nobody really talking back to you what you're saying.
That's true.
It's weird. Jess has told me this too. She's like, it's kind of weird on Mondays, like, you know, just being the only one there. We have it great because I have her. If I was going to do a stream, like there's Saturday nights, her and I are going back and forth. It's not like I'm talking to the chat, yes, but I'm also
back in, Noah.
Jess is saying, you know.
Yep.
And it makes a difference. It keeps the conversation going where a YouTuber who's just sitting here on their own and they're like, yeah, okay, no, oh no, I'm glad you're back home. Oh wait, let me. And then there's that pause. It's just, okay. And by the way, you know, there's a difference.
Yeah, it does. You know, Danny is right on. You know, I always look for something from somebody to feed off of and talk more about it, but I just can't because, and like I told you, Shelly, the best example is go to my channel, check out the DAS. You don't have to watch more than 5 minutes of it. Go right to the middle, and you'll hear the and then be like, oh, Danny, did you guys do?
Mm-hmm.
And you wait. And these guys that do it all the time by themselves, I mean, I'm not saying they're any better or any worse than I am, but
those are the streams. Those are the streams you bail out on. A stream like this is a stream that you're going to stick around on because it's people going back and forth. You know, we're in each other here, but we're also interacting with you guys over there at the same time. So,
yeah. And if you go through and watch any of our, and if you watch any of our streams, we can be going straight down the road and somebody puts something in the chat. And I would never recommend watching any of our replays without running the chat with it, because we could be going and all of a sudden we are off and running on a back road. And it's like, where did this come from? Somebody said something in the chat. I'm always looking at the chat, looking for someone to bring up one little snippet just to make that hard right-hand turn, because there's nothing better.
You are right. Multitasking.
Yeah.
Yep.
And,
exactly.
And there's nothing better. And I know this as a YouTube watcher, there's nothing better than the people streaming recognizing you. Yeah, I do too. I love that. But when someone recognizes you in the chat, that is great.
Yeah.
And they recognize you and they acknowledge you, because everybody wants to be acknowledged. And that is what we strive for in every stream. We hope for you to interact with us, because we do not plan our streams. We're horrible at it.
I'll tell you right now.
Let me take
our Saturday nights. They're not planned.
Thank you, Shelly.
Not planned at all.
We like the randomness too. That's the best part of this. Just to take you behind the scenes just a little bit. Noah, have a great night. It's good to see you back in. I'm glad you got home safe. Last Sunday night, just before Danny hit the live, and he goes, "What do you want to start off with?" And I go, "I don't know." And he went, "Okay, I guess we're going to see where it goes." And I mean, we wound up going 2 hours on nothing.
Exactly, Max.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're absolutely right, Bax. When you get into streamers that have more than 10,000, because not everybody's coming into a stream. Yeah. And that's the reason why, like I told Danny, or the reason why I am gravitating towards smaller channels.
That too.
Yeah. Yep. And this is the latest we've ever streamed. We've gone close to 3. We've never crossed that 3-hour barrier. And I still don't know. Yeah. I don't know where the second I don't know where the second hour went, because I looked up and said scene 3. Last I seen was an hour.
Cody, I have no idea.
You guys are a lot of the reason.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But I think we're at a good place where we can leave off here. And, I hope that all 10 of you come back next week and you share this out and you bring another 10 in, because I guarantee you.
You know the good thing? I didn't bump the wire tonight.
I was going to say that. I was going to say it, but I was going to wait until you get ready to say goodbye, because it's coming.
Camera's on a tripod now. That's why.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so if I bump the computer, I'm bumping the computer right now. You don't see me bouncing up and down. It's way over. I'm stretched out right now. It's right there. I can't even touch it.
Oh,
but yeah.
See, Shelly's following along better than we are. We covered Cedar Point for almost an hour. Just random points about Cedar Point.
And there's nothing wrong with it. It's fine. We just went everywhere tonight. But welcome to the world of randomness.
And Shelly, to be honest with you, like I told you, reach out to Mama Mouse. What's she going to say? If she says no, did you really want to be on her stream anyway? And that's where it is. A time may come where down the road she's like, "Hey, I just didn't know you well enough. Would you like to come on?" There you go. There's your in. If somebody
Shelly, that last name, Shelly Starwalker, that's just an awesome name right there.
I was going to say, if it catches my eye every time.
It screams Star Wars to me right there, 100%.
I can think of a whole live stream you guys could do midweek on that, Danny. The whole Star Walker name and Star Wars and everything. Shelly, if you know your Star Wars, late midweek would be a great night to do a live stream, and you and Danny talk about Star Wars.
Yeah.
You can't do Wednesday nights because you got a game stream.
Especially with Clone Wars coming out. Yeah.
Yep, final season of Clone Wars, fellas.
Huh?
Oh, is that why you put it up?
Your Clone Wars
I was wondering why.
back out. Yep. I mean, come on, that's to the game to Clone Wars right there. See, that's what I'm saying, right there. No, not that. I mean, we'll get that.
Even Rey's a Star Walker now.
Skywalker.
Or Skywalker. Yeah, Star Walker, Skywalker. What's the difference? I mean, if she's just going to take any name she wants.
Shelley's is better, though, because she's walking with the stars, not just on the sky. She's
true.
She's for the universe.
All right. I think we're in a good place. What do you think, Danny?
Awesome.
You got to get up early in the morning.
I think we're at a point where we have to cut it off. It's 1 o'clock in the morning.
Because right now,
hours. Yeah.
Well, guys, I've had a great time tonight. This is so far been, you guys have made this probably the best stream we've had yet. And not saying that we didn't, but the interaction, and that's what keeps us going.
It was my new background. That's what it is.
Eventually, he's going to green screen it. Hopefully.
For some streams, but I think this is going to stay as is, I think. I mean, you got Star Tyranny behind me. Come on, how much better can you get?
Well, I'll take Tyranny over Star Wars any day. I mean, she's a little older now, but
well, you see what that is,
the most beautiful woman yeah, she's easily the most beautiful woman to ever grace Hollywood.
Exactly, with the old ad. So,
well, something's got to make RC Cola taste better.
But I think we're good.
Yep. And Shelly, you're welcome. I don't feel like I gave you any advice, but I'll take the thank you.
Yes. So here's the lineup, guys. This week, tomorrow, or today, just her geek entertainment. Everything is posted up already.
Wait a minute. Is that what it's called?
I don't even know what she wants to call it anymore. Let's just put it this way. Jess is bringing you entertainment news from movies, TV, and whatever else she feels that she needed to watch during the week. So she does a good job at that, and I usually monitor chat for her. She'll do that. It's at 9 o'clock tomorrow night.
And if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it.
It's a lot of fun. Definitely a lot of fun. She does a good job. She does an excellent job at that. Wednesday, we're bringing game night again. So it's going to be a thing every Wednesday. It's going to be game night. Every Monday is just with her entertainment. And then Saturday, we have at midnight. So everything is there. It's a lot of fun. We don't push you to come, but we highly recommend you to come. So again, well, we don't even know about Sunday. We're switching days here, so next week might be a hiatus week. So just bear with us.
Yeah. I'm not sure if we'll be able to go next week. But if it does,
which is okay.
it could be on. But it could be a random day.
But I mean, you want to let them know what day we're thinking going?
We've talked about Tuesdays. Still not sure about that yet. And
I'm good with it.
Had a great turnout.
So.
Yeah, but as happy as I was moving it to Tuesdays, we had a great turnout tonight too. So something will be posted on both of our Twitters coming up throughout the week to let anybody who follows us know exactly when we'll be going. And Shelly, you are all right in my book. I'm sorry you were born and raised in Michigan. You can't help where you're born.
And that is always good. So that's what I'm kind of thinking Tuesdays, because I'm off on Wednesdays. So if I were up late,
and this time slot seems to work real nice. You've got, because we don't plan on going to 1:00 in the morning, but 9:30 works is a good time for both the East and the West Coast. It feels, especially when we see that PTV is able to come in. They're all working, they're all coming home, and they were able to come in, interact. So it sounds like we can definitely try to keep this time slot. But sometime during this week, there will be an update from both of us letting you know when we will be moving to. And if we do move, Tuesdays sound like a good day. Look for it to be that, but we will be posting something this week.
Yep. With that, guys, 1:00 in the morning. Good night.
Have a good night, everybody, and thank you for coming in tonight. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you're new.
Yes, definitely, guys. So we're out of here.
Yes, I am back.